Hey ladies, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Let me know if you can hear me. Maybe put like a 1 in the chat or something. Make sure to like the video. How are you guys doing? Let me see. Okay. Hello. Okay, so I'm just going to get right into it. I came across a TikTok, right? And the TikTok was about a young woman. She made a TikTok about her struggles with dating at the age of 30 in LA, right? And it literally kind of went viral, like even on Twitter, on Reddit, and she was getting a lot of comments. I believe she had to turn the comments off because so many people were coming for her about how she was super pretty and there's no reason why she shouldn't be getting what she wants out of love. And I just wanted to kind of talk about it. So I'm going to play the video actually. I'm going to share my screen with y'all so you guys can we can watch it. On. Oh. But yeah, she was this was a viral video, and I believe that, this is something to talk about because a lot of women go through this and are currently going through this. And it's very important that, we have these conversations and that we figure out why we are that friend who's like always single, or our friends are getting engaged and getting married, and we're never that person that is ever in a happy relationship, or that we're going through endless talking stages, endless situationships. And it's important that while we're looking for love, that we're also tuned into how we are and not just looking at what is wrong with everybody else. So let me show you guys.
Like the craziest, saddest.
Hold on. I got a lot happening. Whoops. Okay. So this is the video. How should I do this? I think this is good. So this is the video of the young lady, and I'm gonna play it for y'all from the beginning. Okay.
I just had like the craziest, saddest thought. I'm in the stage of life where I'm watching all my friends get married and have babies and find love, and I had another talking phase yet again fall through. And my friend was like, you'll meet the one day, don't give up. But now I'm at a point where I hope I don't, because what happens if I meet him and he wants kids and I'm too old to not be able to give him any? So it's easier for me to say I don't want kids. Having like a weird existential crisis. I don't know why I'm posting this on TikTok, but I think I need to know I'm not alone.
All right, so that was her TikTok. This girl talking about her struggles with dating. There were some very interesting comments, I'd say, in some follow-up videos, because like I said, she turned off the comments for this current video. So I can't even like go over what was said in the original TikTok. But there was a lot of commentary on this, particularly amongst some other people that don't frequent in the BW space, that popped up on my algorithm. So that's why I wanted to do a little live to talk about this, and how, um, when these women reach over 30, they hit the wall and they can't find anyone and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, I really want to send this girl like a virtual hug, right? Because I don't believe in a quote unquote wall. That's number one. I don't believe in a wall. I don't believe that you're running out of time to find love. You're not running out of time. I don't believe that, you know, you need to compare yourself to everyone to figure out if you're on the right track. I don't believe in any of that. However, I do believe that you need to really strategize what it is you want. So, number one thing I have to say about this particular woman is she's in LA, right? She's in LA. And I live in California, but I don't live in LA. And I would not recommend dating to find serious love in LA the regular popular way to do so. I would not online date in LA. I would not go to a whole bunch of events where there's like a lot of people around in LA because it's just too much. Like, you just don't know who you're running into. If I was to be in LA and actually date, I would go to events and places that are a little bit more intimate and small so I can meet genuine people. And I would go to events that fit a particular niche, right? I wouldn't just have a free for all in LA because LA is crazy. LA is not a place where you can go and just do everything that you're used to doing. It's really not, because it's just too much going on. It's a lot of fake people. It's a lot of people wanting to, become famous, do things for clout, and it's not a place. It's not a place for young women to go and date because you're kind of gonna waste your time. A lot of the men there, they're not very serious in that city. LA is very expensive, so you're bound to meet men that have money, but those men aren't going to be very high quality in terms of seriousness. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's definitely not the norm. It's definitely not the norm. So when I was on Reddit, I really got inspired to do this because I was on Reddit and someone posted this TikTok. It was a guy and he was talking about how TikTok is now a it is now a place where a woman can just vent their feelings. And I was just reading some of the comments, and a lot of the men were saying she's gorgeous, and they were just they're just overall confused on what her issue is, right? And if I went to her actual TikTok profile, which I'll probably do so that we can read more comments, you're going to see a lot of people either saying that they can relate to her or they don't know what's wrong with her. And she did another TikTok that I'll show. She did a series of TikToks after this one because this is the one that went viral. But she did a series of TikToks talking about how Black women can't go online and be vulnerable and open because they will essentially get attacked, right? Like, they'll get attacked, and it's because we're not white. We don't have the luxury to go online and talk about our feelings because we're gonna get made fun of. The manosphere is now gonna come for us, and anything we say online is now going to be used as ammunition for other opposing content creators to talk about us for the most part, right? So she had a problem with that as well, about how she wants to vent without having to be shamed for it. So I'm gonna play that video where she was explaining that. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, and I'm gonna share this with you guys as well. Screen. Oh no. Okay. Okay, can you guys see this? All right, cool. So let's watch this TikTok she did for one of the part of the follow-up series. Did you guys hear any of that? Okay, I don't think it played. Oh, that's so weird. Actually, I will do this. Okay, maybe it will work this way.
One more video, and I'm telling a story. And I don't know where this is going to be in your FYP, but feel free to actually look at my page and check the previous videos to get really caught up on all the drama. So when the video first went viral, I actually invited in one of my friends who has been in a similar situation before, and I'm going to show you her page right now. This is my friend Blair and her fiance Steven. She did remind me of a couple of things. Number one being, these people are not trying to understand you. They're just trying to get clout, and they are going to do anything they can to aggravate you and catch you slipping and say something even worse so that they can use it to perpetuate their own agenda. Which totally good advice. But what she was honestly floored by, which was something that didn't shock me, was that how much of the hate was coming from people that look like me. Because she's like, I've gotten emotional on the internet and I don't understand. And I had to go, baby, it's because you're white. And that's how it is. Even with black men, a black man will watch a white woman or exotical or light, bright, and damn near white cry on this app and give her all of the compassion. But when they see a black woman do it, it's it's immediately seen as ammo for some other bullshit that they're gonna push. And this isn't all black men. Like, chill on me. I know there's good ones. Like, relax. And I'm gonna tell you the real reason why I'm comfortable having these conversations with her is because I take her engagement very seriously, and she is going to at maybe one day give birth to a biracial child. And if she should have a biracial daughter, I'd rather her have the inside scoop on how those women are treated in the community versus me, and how she needs to raise that said child moving forward so we can start being a better community all as a whole. Then she innocently goes, but Camille, you've done so many other things and that you should have gone viral for. And I'm like, I know. She's like, what about you being a semifinalist for Sports Illustrated twice? You do stuff with dancing. You did ballet for 15 years. You're a talented makeup artist. What is happening? Simply put, Black trauma is more profitable than Black joy. And it's super unfair for me to get comments from my own people about, especially Black women, about how I'm making all of us look bad and I'm going to be fodder for, the not so nice minority, when I have so many other clear examples of being that model Black woman in the community. And yet, of course, this is the one that blows up. It's unfair, and it is what it is at this point. But if you want to stick around and watch my journey, I would really greatly appreciate it. And we could talk about modeling stuff, fashion stuff, makeup stuff. I'm here for it all, baby. I don't know. I don't have a lot of time to discuss this. So.
Okay, so that was her follow-up TikTok because literally her original one went viral. She was I have to log in. She was saying let me start checking second one again. She was saying a lot of truth, I believe. I believe she was saying a lot of truth, that it's only Black women who are made to feel like we are running out of time, like we are behind, or, we can express our grievances, our sadness with things, or our frustrations, unless we're willing to get chewed out, unless we're willing to get gaslighted and blamed, right? And she also made a clear point that the main group of people who do this to us the most on the internet are Black men. She said, not all, but those are the loudest ones. And she's right. Other races of men aren't coming online to talk about how Black women just quote unquote don't get it, or how Black women are uh, not not doing what they need to do. It's really majority of the time Black men who are saying this to us. So she definitely had a point there. Um as far as her dating goes, I don't know the particulars. Oh wow. I don't know the particulars as to why she can't get what she wants. I mean, look, like, she's a very, very beautiful woman, right? I'm just gonna post her picture. She's a very, very beautiful woman. Wow, that's really close. And she has there should be no reason as to why she can't get what she wants. I know I just said in LA it's very hard to date, because it is. It's literally so much harder to date in LA, but if you look good, which we know that men are visual creatures, we also know that it shouldn't be hard for her to find someone. So I wanted to just kind of like, running out of time and feeling like you're running out of time, and how it's really a conditioning. Men right now are trying to condition women to fall for this wall, right? They're trying to condition women to believe that they're running out of time. That's really all it is. No woman is running out of time. I mean, as long as you are still you, as long as you are living your life and loving it, meeting people and getting good results from whatever it is you choose to invest and spend your time in, you're not running out of time. Timing is up to the divine, it's up to God, it's not up to us. However, we do play a part in what we get, depending on the things we choose to do, right? Which no one else has control over. We have control over what we want and choose to do. So when I was on Reddit, I'll actually show some of those comments. Oh, I'm already here. When I was on Reddit, it was just some interesting comments from some of the guys, right? They had a lot, clearly, they had a lot to say about this young woman. And Reddit is like a place where it's just a lot of everybody. Like, there's not really like a manosphere, quote unquote, place to Reddit. There's not really like a Kevin Samuels specific place. Reddit has a little bit of everything. It has a little bit of everyone, right? So when you go on Reddit, you're getting perspectives from everybody. And I'm about to show the comment so that we can go over it. Oh, okay. But, you know, Reddit has a little bit of everything. It has a lot of different opinions, but it's not valid. And there's only a certain group of men that are coming on here saying the same thing over and over and over. Men who are really worth something, who have their head on straight, who they know what they want in life. They're not saying the things that this minority group of men are saying. Yes. No, they really are. They really, really are. And it's very, it's very, very interesting. How many of them have so much to say with nothing, literally nothing going on. Literally nothing going on. But this is what the woman was talking about, though, is she keeps on running into people that fit this narrative. And a lot of other young, frustrated, beautiful women do as well. A lot of them do. I wish I could. Oh, actually, yes. I can do it this way. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm trying to. A lot of women share her frustrations beyond belief. But these Reddit comments, hold on, let me put it up. Okay. So, let's see. Okay. Okay, she is gorgeous. If a woman that's objectively attractive can't find a partner, then she must have some really high standards. Yeah, I bet her standards are effing ridiculous. Women keep looking for men that don't exist. Sad, but kind of funny. It's hilarious. That's why she posts this on TikTok, because they gonna feel sorry for her. Just pathetic. Oh, I can hear it now. It's okay, sis. Just keep manifesting. The irony of her refusing any accountability in the end by saying his name started with J and he was an Aquarius. I should have known better. Shows you the modern female ridiculousness. Most women can't change and won't change. So that was like one set of comments of what the men were saying. I mean, a lot of guys just don't get it. They think that she needs to date a complete desperado guy with nothing else going on, and then she'll be fine. What a lot of men don't understand is just because there are men who are single and available doesn't mean they're good quality partners. And I will say, from being in the dating world myself and from seeing a lot of other women talk about their dating experience, there is a shortage, and not just high value, high earning men, but men who just have good character and good qualities in general. There's a shortage of men like that. That's why that's why there are beautiful girls coming on here, coming on the internet to say just how frustrated they are with dating, that they're getting older and nothing has been working. And it's getting sad. It's getting sad. And I'm sure this girl just wants a man who is at her level or above, of course. Who wouldn't want a person above their level, a woman, and I'm saying. But she doesn't want anything extravagant. Like, nowhere in her message does she say she wants some kind of a millionaire or a ball player or some kind of a celebrity, right? Now, she is very, very pretty. And there are a lot of girls who do move to LA. She posted in another TikTok that she moved there intentionally. There are a lot of girls who move to LA to find something, to find that millionaire guy, a ball player, a celebrity. I can't even, like, living in California all my life, guys. A lot of women will come here to get their bodies done, to find a rich guy, or to, get into some stuff. The LA world is very, it's very interesting. The people that come there, highly wouldn't recommend to move there if you're not living there already. But going there to find a husband, I would not recommend, especially. And it seems like this is what that girl is doing. And a lot of people told her she just needs to get out of LA. I actually agree with that. I agree with that. But she posted another video addressing that very advice. And I thought what she had to say was pretty interesting. And I'm going to play that for you guys right now. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to show you guys what she said in response.
Lives and go look. When it comes to dating, I've gotten this comment so many fucking times. I feel like as women, we're taught to uproot our lives and go look for a man. Maybe I got a career to think about. No, one that I could only do in California. Crazy thought. We could just tell men to do better. When it comes to dating, I've gotten this comment so many fucking times. I feel like as women, we're taught to uproot our lives and go look for a man. Maybe I got a career to think about. No, one that I could only do in California. Crazy thought. We could just tell men to do better. When it comes to dating, I've gotten this comment so many.
Okay, so my suggestion was for her to just move out of LA. And in this video, she is talking about how she shouldn't have to uproot her life to find a man. We just need better men everywhere. And, that's that's the gist of it, right? So I have some pushback for this because proximity and environment is important, right? Like there's a reason why certain people don't move to certain cities solely based on like crime rates or low productivity, or some people move to big cities versus small cities, right? Like you don't think in your head I'm going to move to Tulsa, Oklahoma to have like the New York City life, right? You don't. If you want the New York City hustle bustle lifestyle, will you move to New York, or you move to another major city that is identical in terms of productivity? You don't move to Oklahoma. And so it's kind of like that is kind of how I'm interpreting this in my head. I think that she needs to move if this is really important to her. Her having a family and finding a husband and finding a quality partner in terms of character is important. She needs to move out of cities where that type of lifestyle isn't supported, right? Like there's a reason why when people go from the big city as singles, they so happen to meet someone, settle down, and then they move to the suburbs or they move to gated communities. Like they go places where what they want is supported. And that is a key factor into finding what you want. And I'm really surprised that she refuses to move out of the city to find someone, and she doesn't want to uproot her life, quote unquote, for a man. And this kind of it's giving a little bit, it's I don't know, it's giving a little bit feminist to me, just a little bit. I think if you really want something, no matter what it is, a man, a career, like people move for jobs all the time because they're paying you. You don't want to move to find a quality partner, even though you know deep down you want a family, to the point where you're coming on the internet to cry about it in front of the whole world. But then you don't want to do something about it either, in terms of having to get up and move to go around people that are more family oriented, to be in cities that are more family friendly, so that you can, in hopes, find a man who is on the same page. Right. And so that's kind of what I don't agree with. I don't agree with that. Like, I actually do think, though, that there are bad quality people everywhere, of course. Of course, I do. But I don't think that if you're complaining about where you're at, but then not wanting to move, but then wanting the best result that you can get, while you know that your environment is not known for supporting that best result, but you don't want to leave, I don't believe that you have much to cry about, right? For you guys that are just coming in, maybe I should share the original video one more time with you guys. Where is it? I think this is it.
Had like the craziest, saddest thought. I'm in a stage of life where I'm watching all my friends get married and have babies and find love, and I had another talking phase yet again fall through. And my friend was like, you'll meet the one day, don't give up. But now I'm at a point where I hope I don't, because what happens if I meet him and he wants kids and I'm too old to not be able to give him any? So it's easier for me to say I don't want kids. Having like a weird existential crisis. I don't know why I'm posting this on TikTok, but I think I need to know I'm not alone.
Okay. So that was the original TikTok that inspired me to do this live for you ladies that are coming in. Make sure to like this video. So and then I played a few other videos. In the video I just played, I was talking about, she said that she doesn't want to leave her city to find a man. I am a California native. I live here currently. I've been born and raised here all my life. LA, and if you ladies live in LA, you can probably attest to this, but for me living there all my life, LA is not a place where I would recommend as a first choice to find a husband. There's probably husbands there, there's husbands everywhere, but I wouldn't turn there as my first choice, not the city of LA, right? I wouldn't do it. And she's crying here on TikTok. People are, really coming for her. This video went viral on Twitter and it hit the manosphere, of course. So many incel men just had so much to say about her. And on top of that, she is a beautiful girl. She's a beautiful woman. She has no reason why she can have anyone that she wants, right? And I don't like saying that though about women. I don't mean to say, oh, she can have anyone she wants, because you really don't know her standards, what she's looking for in her situations, right? But there are I do wonder sometimes though, why there are certain women who it's so easy for them to find a man and get in these great relationships. And then you have other women who they date time and time again. They're gorgeous, they're fit, they have their head on straight, and they still can't find no man. Like sometimes I wonder, what is the difference between the two women? Like I know y'all have like seen pictures of women who look very plain Jane, super duper regular, but they got a man flashing their wedding ring, and you just sitting here like, dang. Like I know that meme that goes like, God, I see what you're doing for other people. So it's like, why do those women who on the surface, on the outside, seem so just not attractive, not desirable, don't have much going on, and they always have a man, they're always in relationships, and then you have the successful, beautiful, got it all together woman who can't get a man to save her life. Talking stage after talking stage has failed. She, keeps turning to other people for answers and she doesn't know what's going on. Like, what is the difference between the two women, right? Like, what is the difference? And for this particular woman, I I need to know more about her situation. She's posted a series of TikToks, so maybe we can like kind of go through them where she kind of explains further of what her experience has been, right? But it's very interesting to me. It's very interesting to me because she is the embodiment of what a lot of men say, not only here on YouTube, but kind of everywhere, of what they want. And she still can't find a man, right? Like, what is really going on here? Because I'm for seeing Black women in happy relationships if that's what they want. That is what I want to see. Not only based on just because I want it, but because Black women are the most single group of people in the US. So I believe that we do need to embrace relationship a little bit more. I think it's going to be healthy for us and it's going to overall give us better quality of life. So I think for a few reasons she's having trouble without me having to know her personally. Number one, she's living in LA. The dating market in LA is ruthless. It is not the place to be if you want something serious and you're coming into it genuinely. A lot of people there have an agenda. They're not very intentional there. That's number one. Number two, it does depend on what exactly are her standards and what exactly is it that she is looking for. What is it that she's looking for? Is it readily available to her? And what she's looking for could very well exist. So, if that's the case, it's all about proximity. How close is she to what it is she wants? Like, is she going to the right places and events to meet the men that she wants? Number three, is she intentional herself? So, is she actually interested in finding a relationship, or is she more so interested in having a title, copping a feeling? Like, is she more into the extravagances that come with having a relationship versus the real vulnerability and intimacy part of it? Which is something that I love to advocate for, is actually humanizing your relationship by being invested and curious about the man that you say you like, and actually creating a connection with him instead of romanticizing, fantasizing, and over politicizing everything about this guy, right? And then number four, of course, her options. Is she expanding her options? Is she dating all kinds of guys based off of culture and where they're from and race, right? Let me see what you guys are saying. Right. Right, Melted. I feel like maybe she's not opening up her options. I feel the same. She may be going after the same type of man. And this is usually the problem with a lot of women who are perpetually single. They're going after the same type of guy over and over, which is literally the main reason why you're getting the same results. Plenty of female dating coaches on here talk about this a lot. They talk about how women who have some internal things going on, some traumas they haven't healed from, will tend to attract a reflection of themselves, which is why they keep getting the same results. Like women who are not emotionally available themselves will tend to attract emotionally unavailable men time after time again, until she unpacks her own trauma, faces herself in the mirror, and makes a decision that she wants to have an open, carefree love, right? An open and carefree love. So there's a lot of people in her comments. She took the comments off of this original TikTok, guys, because I'm sure they weren't very good, because it came onto Black Twitter and the manosphere. So they bombarded her TikTok and probably told her all types of crazy, crazy things, which is very sad and unfortunate. So she made like a few other she made a few other TikToks following up on this. So I'm going to play some of them as well for you guys. Which one? Okay. Oh, we already watched this one. Oh, this one. Didn't watch this one yet. Okay.
Delete the video. Okay, so this one is the last one I'm going to respond to today. I might still delete the video. This made me very happy because this is my intention behind posting it. I just wanted to reach out and get a lifeline from other women who were in my position. And a lot of you guys are Black women too, which was even better. But I swear to God, if I get one more comment telling me to freeze my eggs, I'm gonna fucking barf. I am aware of my options. I just think that there's a heavy level of projection going on in my comment section. Desperate I am not. I can enjoy my own company. I have traveled outside of the country by myself twice. Thank you for all the comments about my looks. Thanks. I mean, I don't think I'm ugly either. I don't want to have kids at 50. What the fuck? No. At least not naturally, but kudos to the women who have. That's not my journey. I will not have kids. It wasn't necessarily about finding a man or getting pregnant right now. It's about rethinking what my future looks like. And I may not include any of those things and being okay with that. Okay, so this one is the last one I'm going to respond to today. I might still delete the video. This made me very happy because this is my intention behind posting it. I just wanted to reach out and get a lifeline from other women who are in my position. And a lot of you guys are Black women too, which was even better. But I swear to God, if I get one more comment telling me to freeze my eggs, I'm gonna fucking barf. I am aware of my options.
Okay, so that was one of the other follow-up TikToks that she did. And I lost my train of thought kind of. Let me just go back to what you guys were saying. So does she want kids or not? Why does she keep bringing up? She made another, I skipped over it, but she made another video specifically on that. So I'm going to play that too. Because at this point, the more she makes videos, the more she kind of looks like she does not know what it is she wants. And that is going to lead her to attract the same exact results, which is why she's not, creating the love life that she desires, and she's not able to attract that. I mean, at some point, you have to be honest with yourself with what it is you want. Okay, so let's play this one.
This might be a long-winded response, so just bear with me. Train of thought, all of that, The best way I can answer this is if you've seen the show Insecure, Issa Rae, which if you haven't, what the fuck are you doing? I can tell you the specific episode, season finale, Kelly is pregnant. And they're like, Kelly, I thought you said you didn't want any niggas' kids. And she's like, I don't want any niggas' kids. I want this nigga's kids. And that is it for me. I have never felt more seen and heard in the episode than that in particular moment. You see, my mom was a teen mom, and she explained to me the harsh reality of being pregnant, how hard it is for child labor and raising a child on your own. She had my sister and she was 18. And she was a nurse, so I got all of the gory details, like all of them. But I'm gonna tell you the fact that stuck with me, and that is being a Black woman, my mortality rate is 4 times higher than that of my non-Black counterparts. So do you honestly think I'm just gonna risk my life to have a random nigga's child? No, that's why I'm 31, not married with no children. I don't plan to settle. I know my worth. So it's easier to just say, like, you know what? I don't even want kids if it's not gonna be with the right person, because it would not be worth it to me to do it alone. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck that filter was, but it was freaking me out. And I really got something to say for you fear-mongering Kevin Samuels wannabe niggas in my fucking comment section that I'm personally blocking. Part of me sincerely wants to delete the video because I would rather die than allow my moment of vulnerability be used to weaponize and fearmonger other Black women. Y'all are fucking trash. Half of you wouldn't have a shot with me in hell. My shoe collection costs more than your annual salary. You don't make enough money to even breathe in my direction 9 times out of 10. But this isn't to knock the city girls, because I honestly am starting to understand. Here's why. Men put so much of their mental well-being into how much money they're able to provide, or their ability to provide, and how much money they're making, and whether or not that makes them eligible to date. When a man has too much money, he can treat women like objects and like they're just so dispensable, right? I've been there. I've dated rich men. You date a man who may not be where he wants to be financially, and it's all of a sudden, I got to focus on my career. I don't have the time right now. I just got to work. I'm not financially stable enough, and da 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 to, give you the life I think you deserve. When you probably make enough to support yourself, so you're not even really trying to date him for his money. But because he doesn't deem himself worthy, he would have just wasted your time anyway. I feel like if I'm gonna get my feelings hurt and have my time wasted, I might as well have a Birkin bag with interest. This is where I'm at. This might be a long-winded.
Whew, okay, so she said a lot. Like she said so much in just what, like, in 2 minutes. She said a lot. Okay. So one thing that stuck out to me the most is she's bringing up the mortality rate of oops. She's bringing up the mortality rate of Black women, which is 100% true, right? We know the numbers. We know how risky it is for us as Black women to give birth to children, right? So we know those numbers, right? But for her specifically, she is 30. She's 30 years old. So it's even more riskier for her compared to young Black women that are still in their 20s. She's in LA. There's a lot of men that have money, that have honestly a lot of options. And they're men that have money don't move to LA to find a wife. They don't, guys. They do not. Unless they're born and raised in LA, that's different. But I'm saying if he comes from some winkadink town, pops off, maybe he made some money somewhere and decides to invest it and has it going on, all of a sudden he levels up basically and he moves to LA, it's not to find a wife. It's not. Literally all the IG baddies live in LA, guys. Like these men are making money to have those types of options in those women, either LA or like Miami. Houston is in there, Vegas. Like men that move to those cities that are young and have money, they're not looking to find a wife. So she's saying rich men, oh, they're just gonna, basically replace you because they can. Well, you're in a city where they have the ability to do that because there's so many beautiful women there. There's a lot of pretty girls that live in LA, whether they got their body done, their face done, whatever. They look good in the eyes of the men who are, making the money to live there, right? So she's complaining about things that are a given. Like she's not complaining about something that's really worth complaining about, if you ask me. Like she's complaining about things that's how they were set up to be, sweetheart. You shouldn't have moved there if you didn't like the rules, right? So she's coming on the internet saying all this stuff. It's clearly she wants someone to feel sorry for her. Right. I believe as a woman, as a feminine woman, as a traditional woman, you don't need to put yourself out there. Like that. Privacy is powerful and it's very sexy on any kind of woman, no matter your belief. So if you're literally going out here telling the world that you can't find someone to be with, it does not look good. It does not look good. And I know in a previous TikTok, she mentioned, oh, the white girls do it and they don't get shamed and they still find someone and they get loved because they're white. I understand how it can look that way, but the way that she is doing it is very arrogant and it's coming from a place of ego to me. And so that's really why she's getting the vitriol. It's not because she is a Black woman crying. It's because from what I'm starting to see now that I see this clip, because before I actually was starting to be like, oh, wow, she made a good point. But now that I see this clip, I'm starting to think, okay, like you may just be a little bit arrogant. You may be a little big headed. You may think that you are holier than thou or above reproach. And that's not attractive. So I can see why you got the type of vitriol that you did here online, why men are so drawn to now humbling you, because you are actually putting yourself out there like you're better than the rest, you're above something. And she's a beautiful woman, but she's a little bit older. A man that is with her is going to have to think about that when it comes to having children, right? And good men are good men, but they still face reality, guys. They're still going to think about your age and the factors that it's going to play on your health, because it's not just about if you can have a child. It's going to be about how your body can bounce back and your overall health after you have a kid, right? Is your husband going to still have to look out for your health and in a way provide certain resources for you to bounce back now that you had children at an older age? Of course, it's possible. We have modern medicine, but men just automatically, no matter what, that's just what they think about firsthand. Firsthand, that's what they think about. But there's plenty of men, regardless, who after a while, they figure it out. But firsthand, that's what they're thinking, right? When they first getting to know you and first meeting you, right? And she said something else, I also think that, yes, like I said before, and like you ladies have said in the chat, that she is not, I don't believe she's expanding her options. I believe that she's bringing up Issa Rae. talking about inward this and that. She may not be a little detached from Black men. She may just have a certain type of guy that she's going for. And that's probably number one for me after watching this clip now. It's not only living in LA, having these expectations that she has, but it's also that she is, I believe, not opening up her options to other races of guys. I mean, it doesn't seem like she is at all. It seems like she wants a certain type of man. But certain types of men that she probably wants are not very into being husbands, right? If you're into guys who are flashy with the tattoos, they want to be in the VIP, those guys usually, especially the ones living in LA, are not looking to be your husband. They are not looking to protect and provide for you at 30 years old. They are just not. It just is what it is. Those men get to choose the lifestyle that they want, and that is what they choose. So you just can't complain about something you have no control out of. It will make you upset. And that is why she came on the internet to cry, because she's complaining about things she can't control. She's complaining about things she can't control. And in order to really get your man, ladies, you can't be so controlling. These men hold the access to marriage, all of them, no matter the color. If you're a traditional woman, most likely he is going to be the one to propose to you. And you cannot control that. So you can't cry and be upset about it. You have to fill your life with hobbies, with things that make you happy. Correct whatever needs to be corrected in your life. Travel, go to new places. Don't get stuck on who is not choosing you. And when Black women do come on here and do this, this is the other part. She's upset that she can't complain in peace because she's Black and all the Kevin Samuels guys are checking for her, and she's upset that the white girls get to come online and complain. But here's the thing as well that I haven't mentioned. As Black women, we are the most single group of people here in the nation. So coming on to complain about something that is that is just already so known, it is not a good look for us. For us, it isn't a good look. It's not. I mean, if we're trying to attract better, we can't, there's just certain things that we specifically as a group cannot do. No matter how much it's unfair, how much it sucks, we just have to focus on action, change, strategy. That strategy for you is divestment. That strategy for you is self-sovereignty. If that strategy for you is just dating interracially, if that strategy is moving to a different city, moving away from your family, whatever it is, you need to focus on that. You always need to be aware of your surroundings and be intentional about the people you have in your life. And you always need to check yourself constantly, literally every day. Check how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and what you're doing. Your actions speak louder than your words. Check what you're doing, because your actions are going to literally shape the life you want moving forward. Literally. Right? Yeah. You guys said something else in this chat. I saw one of you ladies say, I don't plan to settle, LOL. So she wants to be single then. Right. I was gonna, about this whole settling business. Guys, don't take this the wrong way when I say this. I don't believe there is a such thing as settling. You choose what you want. You choose it. No woman ever, well, for the most part, for majority of the time, has ever married a man and just not knew what she was marrying at face value. Meaning she didn't know at least the man's situation, where he comes from. I mean, the basics. So if you choose that, if you choose to go with that, going deeper from the surface, if you choose that surface level, you didn't settle. You made a choice. I hate it when people say, I don't want to settle. I don't want to settle. When it comes to dating though, and when it comes to choosing a partner, you should be able to know what you're doing. Discernment, wisdom, right? Lessons. I don't believe in settling. I really don't. I believe you choose what you want. You choose what you want. And you're getting what it is you deserve based on what you've done in your life to get yourself there, to get yourself in the room. I mean, that's how life works, right? For the women that are married, that didn't marry a millionaire, that didn't marry the CEO, that didn't marry um, the guy who's employee of the year or whatever, the guy with all the investments. Those women didn't settle. Those women chose the man that they were in love with and wanted to spend their life with, for the most part, from what I see, right? I 100% agree. I don't plan to settle. LOL, so she wants to be single then? I 100% agree. I don't really believe there's a such thing as settling. I don't. I believe we make choices and that's what you chose to go with. You don't have to go with anything. You don't have to choose anything. But what you choose is your choice. If you're choosing to quote unquote settle, I mean, you're not, though. You're not. You're choosing what it is you had available. You're choosing what you think is going to work for you. You're choosing what you think is going to give you the type of life that you want. And if you think that is beneath you, it's really not the other person's fault. It's kind of your fault because you chose. A lot of women don't like it when I say that because it makes them believe that it's not their fault, that they can't take accountability for something that they chose. When you say, "Oh, I settled for this. You know, this was placed in my lap. I just had to take it." No, you didn't have to take it. No one has a gun to your head telling you to marry this guy that you clearly don't really want. No one's telling you that. You didn't even have to go on a second date if you was really not feeling him. And this is how women do end up not being very happy whether they have a man or not, because you're doing things you know you actually don't want to do. You're choosing things you actually don't want to choose, right? Now this comment here says, I'd rather be single than to settle. I don't like how she said the settle word, but at least she said I'd rather be single. I think that if you're not getting what you want, it is better to be single until you get what you want. And until you get what you actually want. But don't say that, settling, because settling makes it sound like someone forced you to do this. No one's forcing you to do anything. Take power over your life. You have the choice to do whatever you want. So if you choose to be with a man who wasn't exactly who you thought he was, who wasn't exactly who you thought your man was going to look like, and you choose him, and there's a few things missing, you didn't settle. That's what you chose. You made a choice. I just want more women, especially Black women, to own and make your own choices. It's okay to choose something that you didn't really think would be your choice. Isn't that what the whole divestment is about? It's about choosing something that you didn't, not solely about, but choosing something you solely didn't think. Like all of us as little girls were told that we should date and marry only Black men as Black women. And now that we're older and in the dating world, actually we figuring out, oh wait, like this ain't it. Like I gotta go somewhere else. I gotta go somewhere else now. It's not what I thought it was over here, so I got to divest and go over somewhere else. Right? So is it going to be is it I'm going to throw this out there. Is it technically that it's all about settling now? Are we now settling for non-Black men, right? Or are we choosing them? Which one is it? Which one is it? I mean, I'm just saying. Be single and make and choose what you want. Don't ever say you settled for something when you know you chose to do this. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense, and it's actually really rude and hurtful to the guy who probably really wanted you. That's the thing. The women who say this are saying it about guys that probably really wanted them, that would have chose them as their first choice. Oh, but I'm not going to settle for him, so I had to tell him bye. Like that is so hurtful, and I like I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's cuz I have a brother. And so I like I just, I have sympathy, and like I and not even that. I just wouldn't want a guy doing that to me. I wouldn't want a guy telling me I settled for you. That's hurtful. That truly is hurtful. I would never say that. I would never say that. I would never even think that. I choose what I want, period. I stand on my choice, right? I think another reason why women go with the settle thing is because they're kind of trying to save face, I guess, maybe to their friends, to their family. Oh, I didn't want to settle for that. I can do better. Like, and for this woman here, like, how is that working out for her? Because she's in LA trying to expect this amazing husband at the age of 30, right? As a woman of color, where we know the beauty standard and the preferences, we know what they look like, right? Like the arrogance is 10 times more unattractive. And it's sad. She's way too beautiful to have this type of mentality. Really.
And here's why. Men put so much of their mental well-being into how much money they're able to provide or their ability to provide and how much money they're making and whether or not that makes them eligible to date. When a man has too much money, he can treat women like objects and like they're just so dispensable, right? I've been there. I've dated rich men. You date a man who may not be where he wants to be financially, and it's all of a sudden, I got to focus on my career. I don't have the time right now. I just got to work. I'm not financially stable enough, and da 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 to, give you the life I think you deserve. When you probably make enough to support yourself, so you're not even really trying to date him for his money. But because he doesn't deem himself worthy, he would have just wasted your time anyway. I feel like if I'm gonna get my feelings hurt and have my time with
Okay, so she just said because the man doesn't see himself worthy, he's gonna waste your time. Let's dissect this in a real dating situation and figure out how this makes sense. I mean, I'm not saying she's wrong, but let's just figure out if it makes total and complete sense for all, situations like this. For me personally, if I've dated guys that believed that I did not think they were worthy to have me, it actually made them want to pursue me even harder if they really wanted me. See, a lot of the things these types of women come on here and say, they reveal a lot at the same time, right? If a man doesn't think you're worthy enough for him, instead of him wasting your time, he's actually going to prove himself even harder because he's under the impression that you're too good for him and he wants you. If a guy is wasting your time no matter what, he doesn't want you guys. He doesn't want you. That's why he's wasting your time. Like, what? What? Because if a man if you it's almost like when you're in school, right? You're in school and you're in a really hard trying to pass a class and it's one of your most difficult subjects. You really don't believe that sitting in class is good enough for you to pass. So what do? You're going to go home and you're going to study. You're going to join study groups. You're going to probably search online for other resources to help you understand the concepts and then show up and pass. Versus not doing anything and failing. But if you don't do anything and you fail, it's because you really didn't care to pass. Maybe the class wasn't that big of a deal. Maybe it wasn't necessary. Maybe it's not worth that many credits, so it's not going to affect your GPA. But if this is a class you need to pass, you want to pass, it's going to look good on your GPA and on your report. You're going to study and put in a lot more effort than the other classes that come easier to you. That's kind of human nature. It's kind of human nature. I've never met a man in my own life, my girlfriends, and what they tell me about their dating experiences, what I see online. I've never heard of a man who doesn't think he's worthy enough for a girl and instead and he actually wants her and he wastes her time. I've more so heard that a man who really wants you and believes he's not good enough is going to pull out all the tips and all of the pursuing and the wowing you. He's going to do different things to win you over because he doesn't believe, as he is normally, is worthy enough. So he's going to do the most to like get your attention and get your attraction and get your blessing to date. Right? It's only men that don't want you that will waste your time, not men who think they're not worthy. I mean, the two can be the same. Like, yeah, you can have a guy who thinks he's not worthy and he'll waste your time, but it's because he doesn't really want you like that. That's how it works in my mind. That's how it works in my mind. It's a lot of, and I'm seeing a lot of the comments from the whole settling thing. It's unfortunate. A lot of it is coming from Black women. A lot of Black women are saying this, and I don't like it. I don't like it because we're already a very single group of people, like I said. Not how I feel. It's literally in the data. And we're saying it when we know though that we want a lot of these girls and a lot of other Black women, for the most part, like other women, want to have a family and want to have kids, right? And notice what she said too. The patriarchy hurts everyone, right? I haven't really made a video or any type of content addressing patriarchy specifically, but that you guys know I'm feminine over feminist. I'm traditional and I'm Christian, right? So it's obvious that I'm actually not against patriarchy because of my beliefs. I don't believe there's any perfect system. That's not possible. The matriarchal system isn't perfect either. A, you know, whatever communal system isn't perfect either. A patriarchy system isn't perfect. I believe that a patriarchy system offers women protection and it keeps women provided for and it gives women security, right? Which is all given to us by the man, by the men in charge. They're in charge, moving and propelling through society for the benefit of not only themselves, but women and children in every kind of way. That's literally how we got to where we are today because of a patriarchy system and men who subscribe to the patriarchal values, right? No, it's not perfect. Of course, patriarchy does mean that certain people can get hurt and abused, and wars will break out over stupid reasons, of course. But like I think I've said this in another video, is that no matter what system you're under, whether you're a feminist or not, it still doesn't exempt you from getting hurt in some kind of way. It doesn't. You're not exempt from being betrayed. You're not exempt from being disappointed. Those things are not exclusive to a system. So I dislike when these certain women talk about which system is better than the other. Like you can't get those negative results in both. You can get them in both. It doesn't matter. So it's better to just focus on picking the person with the best character over color, with the best values and the best morals. And that is what's going to guarantee you to at least have a much better life in the end. Right? In the end. So, I think too, a lot of women who are having issues with dating, like her, because like I said, LA is not a good city to date, but it also is a city that has a lot of different people. So you could very well find someone and it could be meaningful because it's a very big city with that's incredibly diverse. And you can meet someone at some point, but you have to change up your environment and your proximity. Can't go to the same type of events. You can't go to the same types of people. She definitely strikes me as a woman who goes for the same type of guy time after time after time because she's stuck with the image of the man she wants in her head. When it comes to settling, usually what I'm seeing of the women who subscribe to this is that they have an image of a man in their head they haven't even met yet, and they don't want to be with anyone else unless it's him. But this man that lives in their head isn't I'm not saying he ain't real, but he isn't real to her. Like she hasn't met this man. And then if she did come across this man, does he even want her? Like, clearly, this woman has the man she wants, and she has probably met the same guy over and over, but obviously, they have not chosen her to be in relationship with. Obviously, because if they did, she wouldn't be on here saying the things that she's saying. She wouldn't be on here saying the things that she's saying. She'd have the man that she wants. She'd be proud that she didn't quote unquote settle, and that would be the end of it, right? So, she's going for the same type of guy. So she needs to get away from that, open up her options, right? Because the man for you is big chance he's not going to look like what you have in your head. Big chance. I never, I'm dating for marriage. And the man I'm with now, just say me and him were to be married, I don't even he doesn't match who I thought I would who I thought I would marry, but I don't really have an image though. Like I just see myself at a wedding, like all other girls do, and I just see a male figure. Like I don't see a skin color, like his face is blurred. It's like weird. It's like he's a mannequin in my head. A mannequin man is who I have in my head. And when you have it like that in your head, you're much more open to meeting any kind of guy and you're much more attentive to his character and the quality of who he is as a human being, right? Like, usually the women that are coming on complaining about dating all the time, they're looking at it like it's a game or something. And you have to understand, ladies, that when you're dating and you're single and you're young, and you want to be married and have kids, that is a big deal. That is a big deal. Like, you don't just go off of fantasy and what you want and all this crap. You have to go off of so many other things. Like, whatever it is about a person, about a man that you want to marry, that you're experiencing in the dating stage, it's going to be multiplied times like 5 or even 10 in a marriage, right? Like, a good average long marriage for a person's lifetime is like what, 40 to 50 years, considering, you grow old together. That's a long time to spend with a person, and you're just going off of like what he looks like in your head and making sure you don't settle or not. Like, that's a big deal. Waking up to the same person every day, you really have to be strategic and aware of what it is you want. You really have to know what you're doing. This commenter said, you have high standards, self-respect, and you know what you want. So many people settle, here's that word again, because they fear of being alone, fear being in a relationship and feeling alone. I don't like that settle word. I just don't. And can we talk about fear of being alone too? Do you know that you're not created to be by yourself? And it's not actually something you should openly and completely embrace either? Like, it's actually not natural for you to embrace being alone by choice, I'm saying. It's one thing if you were dealt a certain circumstance. It's one thing if you couldn't if it's out of your control, basically is what I'm saying. It's one thing if it was out of your control, but it's definitely not something that is meant for you to go through a life of loneliness. You're actually not meant to go through that. And what I have a problem with the whole don't settle, Miss Independent, boss babe type of type of world is that they make wanting someone in your life, it's like they almost kind of shame you for it, or they think you should be happy being alone and all this stuff. And it's not like, I'm not saying don't be happy being alone, be happy regardless, but definitely don't put this as something that you must focus on doing. Like, you must focus on being happy alone, right? I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe a such thing as fear of being alone. I don't. As a woman, as human beings, we're created to create more human beings, and we can't do that alone, essentially. I mean, thanks to modern medicine, technically, but we weren't created to, though. That's not the intention for our existence, though, right? It's not. If the life you have to be lived. I know there's women who did marry, so they become widows, so they technically, are dealt those cards. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about young, beautiful woman. You have the whole world as your oyster. You can go anywhere. You're like a free agent woman. Why are you choosing to be this Miss Independent, perfect being an alone boss babe? When you know you want a family, that's the thing. Like, you want to have someone in your life. That's what I'm really talking about. I'm referring this to women that know they want something, which brings me back to staying true to what you want and what you choose to do. Don't do things and say things to save face. Don't do things and say things to save face. Let me see what you guys are saying. I'm also going to drop the link if you do want to come up. If you do want to come up, let me see. I'm 30 and feeling no pressure. I'm open, but I'm also putting myself on a timetable. Yeah. See, this is fine. This is normal to like doing your own thing, because it's nothing is going to once you marry and have kids, especially, you're never going to get that time back. You're never going to get that time to be alone. So definitely savor and appreciate the time you have as a single woman, where you have time to yourself. But if you want a family someday, don't get fixated on that place. That's what I'm saying. If you know that's what you want, if you are choosing to be a woman who wants to have a family, don't fall so in love with being alone and then use the whole settling thing out of fear because you don't want to be alone. You're not meant to be alone, even if you like it. Just keep in mind that you're not created to be by yourself. Just keep that in mind. And even if you don't have like a man that's in your life, that mentality will still attract great friendships and great opportunities for you to network with other people, because you have no, you're not stuck on loneliness and being alone and being this Miss Independent, you know? Let me see. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so you guys called in. Hi, Melted. You're on the stream. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I was trying to find my headset, so if anything happened, it won't like kick me out. But I'm having a hard time finding it. Does it matter? As long as you can still hear me.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What did you
So,
have to say on tonight's topic?
all right. Okay. So I just wanna. It's funny because I remember having a talk with my friend, cause mind you, I'm 19 and my friend, she is 22. She would always talk to me about, guys that she met. One that is a man who has a doctorate degree or is a constructioner, man who is, I guess, established or working to have a stable career job. Now, for her, when it comes to her dating choice, I mean, I don't know if I can give the full background because she did end up meeting a guy who was an FNL player. But the thing with her is that she was just being too playful when it comes to her dating choice. Like, she dates only Hispanic, and she wants the guy that she's dating to at least be, a bit taller than her, like 7 feet. So she would tell me about the guys that she's talking to and how she's like, oh yeah, I get this guy and that guy and blah blah blah. And I asked, and these same men, they show interest, but I asked her, so do you plan to, take the chance, go out with them, at least explore the relationship? And she's like, oh no, I just want to talk to them, because she's just wasting time. And it's just like, I don't get it. And she's like, well, I don't really need a man. I don't need marriage. I have a whole time to do whatever I want. Now she say this, but she turns around and complain about how she cannot find a partner. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like in some cases, if you have a man that is interested, a good man who's interested in you and want to explore it with you, why not take the chance? And when she's given that, it's like it's something for her to brag, but she's not really using it, if that makes sense. like she's just wasting time, like playing around. If I hope I'm making sense with that. Hello?
Oh,
Hello?
I think I was on mute, girl. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I heard everything you said. Yeah, you're making perfect sense. I have lots of girlfriends that are like that. They wanted to like play the field and they were actually attracting guys that were at least good enough for them to talk to and date and be around, but at the same time would still complain. And it's just it's really unfortunate because when it comes to settling, I think I already stated I personally don't believe in settling. I believe in choices. You choose what you want. But for the people who do, it definitely gets overused, I feel, and used out of context or used in a way to make it seem like, there's something special that you're looking for. Like it's like you can't like you meet one guy and you expecting something better. Then the next one has to be better than the one after that. And it reminds me of when I was on a clubhouse room and there was a guy who was on stage and he was in his 30s. He was single, had no kids. He was black, of course, and he was on the stage talking with like it was like a divestors type of room or really talking about interracially dating. So this black guy came on stage to talk about how his experience has been dating black women and he kind of just proved the whole point basically on why black women should date out. But his story was he was in his mid 30s, he was double educated, made six figures, no kids, never been married, and he has met so many amazing and beautiful women, but he keeps thinking that time after time there's going to be someone better, someone better. So he will meet one girl and she's great, but he thinks that there's someone better, so he develops in his mind this concept of, oh, I don't want to settle for her. But really, it's not that you ever it's not that you ever even knew what you were settling on. Like, I hope I'm making sense when I say this. Like,
Yeah.
he's only saying he's settling because now he's looking for something better. So now he's saying, "Oh, I don't want to settle." Right?
Mhm.
Like it doesn't make sense. Like the word is used a lot when it really doesn't have to be used. Like you only know if you're settling. What people who say this, what sometimes they say it like they only know if they're settling if they're consistently always expecting something better time after time after time. And it's like when you get something better, that quote unquote better that you want, stick to that. That's what
Yeah,
you
that's
wanted.
what I'm
Stop
saying.
trying to always look for something. The grass is not always greener on the other side. There is no guarantee you're going to get something better than what you already have right now. So you're better off
Exactly.
exploring it fully, giving it a chance, being open, being intentional and focused than
Yeah.
to always want to find something better and be like, oh, she's great, but I think I can find something better. I don't want to settle. Like, what?
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just a waste of time to me. And this is why I feel like when it comes to people like that, I'm not saying that they can't find a partner, but that's where it leads into you, never finding one. I hope I don't come off rude like that.
No, it's the
Sorry.
truth to me.
Yeah, yeah, because how can I mentioned in the comment section that there was this girl. She's I think she's Latin, but she looks Japanese to me. Mind you,
Mhm.
she has a horrible life. She was with an abusive father. She was homeless multiple times. You would have thought someone like her would never find, an established man because, well,
Mhm.
she's like one of those women. I guess what they call in the manosphere the what would they call those type of women? Low tier,
Yeah.
not value, whatever. Yeah, and I think she was probably she's like 10 years younger than with the to the guy that she's now married with, and I think after she met him at her job. I don't know where they were working specifically, but they met each other without a job, and I think after she knew about where he worked, she immediately settled for him. She called him her boyfriend, and I think she also explained his situation to him, and eventually he ended up taking her out of the spot that she was in, moved her to Japan, and now she lives a life just being a housewife, cooking and traveling with her. Well, not traveling, but they just go to places around Japan, whatever the place to go, and he just provides her gifts and whatsoever. And it's just like, that's exactly how you're supposed to do it, especially at your young prime age. I'm not saying that you can't do it as at an older age, but it's like, yeah, you find the right match, a man who can provide you whatever stuff you need. You're supposed to take it. But the whole, oh well, he's just boring and blah blah blah. I mean, I'm not saying you can't. I don't want to make it seem like you can't um leave a man who's I guess not. Well, I don't really know, because I don't want to make it seem like you have to date someone you don't like. But it's just for me, the way she tells my black friend, the way she told me about the men that she meets on a daily, like on Twitter or TikTok, and sometimes on Instagram. Maybe on Instagram, I don't know. She just tells me that they're just not what she's looking for, and she just don't want to be with them. And it's just like, well, then I don't know what to tell you. Because for me, I have a biological clock, so like I'm trying to at least get myself, at least look nice and presentable to get myself a partner, so I can get that started with. Because I do believe in getting my education and whatsoever, but at the same time, I want a partner and I want to have children and be married. So it's like I'm not gonna, push that aside just to brag about it, if that makes sense. Because I feel like in this video, this is
Yeah.
what the woman is giving me. Like she's like, "Oh well, I have my own job, blah blah blah." It's like, okay, that's cool, but you also want a relationship too. So mm, I hope I make sense with what I'm saying.
Right, exactly. No, you made perfect sense. Like, it's frustrating because I'm we have way too much media circulating about black women being single when a good chunk of black
Yes.
women want to have kids and they want to be wives. And so stuff like this it's frustrating to me
Exactly. And this is
because
why. Oh, sorry.
yeah, no, I mean because this is all like a choice. I know you said you don't think your friend should be with someone she doesn't like. And the thing is that none of us are going to be with people we don't like. That's the
Exactly.
no one's going to be with someone we don't like.
Exactly. Like, come on. Mind you, my friend, the black one, she said she doesn't want to date white guys, but she mostly have Latino and white guys hollering at her. So it's like,
Mhm.
so you telling me you're gonna be close minded to a guy who has everything, but because he's white, you won't date him? Come on. Like, come on. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, you may not be attracted to him, but I mean, she doesn't tell me how much. She only told me it's one Asian guy, a Latino guy, maybe three people. But it's like, at the same time, just take it, cause then you can't. She's like, oh, well, I have a career. I don't have to. Well, I'm gonna have a good job and blah blah blah. It's like, okay, but no man cares about that. Okay, I just don't think anybody cares about being independent. Cause I have a friend. Well, I call her acquaintance, but she's Guatemalan. She's
Mhm.
like 29. Mind you, she has two businesses. She does taxes for her people and she does real estate. Every
Yeah.
time when I come visit to her, she cries about being single. She has a house of her
Mm.
own and two dogs. I told her to get two dogs because she cried to me. She told me that she cries every night because she's lonely. Now she was with a 4 years relationship with a basically a bum white guy who doesn't really do anything. Every day they argue, but she didn't want it to leave him. He leave her because their relationship was toxic. She didn't want him to leave just because she wanted company. And it's like, I try to tell her what she needs to do, but she's like, oh well, I have a job and blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, we get that. But I don't know. It's like she won't date any other guys because she specifically want a white guy. And I don't really know. It's like I mean, I mean, I'm still gonna make the topic on black women because yeah, I'm not making it seem like I care, but this is what I'm talking about when it comes to the self independent women. This is where it leads to them with that attitude that they
Mhm.
carry, and it's
Mhm.
just like you guys need to really. I mean, I can't really say. I mean, that's her, but it's just I just feel like as well. I don't know if I could give an opinion about that. It's just that um I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. I was trying to make a point
No,
out.
you're No, you're fine. I think there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong, guys, with like enjoying your time by yourself. There's nothing wrong with being self-sufficient. It's actually good that you are self-sufficient. You're a human being. You need to at least be able to give yourself certain things so that you can survive, man in the picture or not. Even if you have a man in the picture, what if he gets injured? What if something happens and he needs you to kind of like help him? Those are real life issues, guys. Like this is what I say when when I say certain things on my channel. Like you don't want to fall for fantasies and the glitz and glam. Life is very if you live a full life, it's going to be very long, and you're going to go through things. So you need to be ready and you need to be prepared, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying your time on your own, but you also don't know what you're missing if you don't have it. I think there's like a saying for that, but I can't understand. Like people can be very happy on their own, which is great, but when you meet the right person, you're also going to be so happy that you're with this person. You're going to be so happy that you didn't, pass them over. You didn't have these
Yeah,
crazy, unrealistic standards. Like you just don't know. You don't, what is the saying? You don't know what you're missing, what you're not missing, or something like that.
I feel like it's Taste the Rainbow, maybe. I don't know,
Yeah, it
because
was,
it's like
it
explore,
was something
explore
like
it.
Yeah. So, I'm just it's a lot of black women on here that are talking like this, and I'm not trying to say make your life all about having a man and getting a relationship and all that
Yeah,
stuff. It's not about that. It's not about centering a man. It's not about I don't even know why women
yeah.
started saying that. I have no
To
idea
be
what that really
I
I
I
don't
feel
know
like
what
it's
that
white
means.
feminists. I feel like it's white feminine. Ever since it's just white women they start saying about it. Now you have other women talking about it, but it's just like it's not really about getting a having a man or just focusing on a man or whatever. It's just about, finding your right companionship. That's how I see it. I mean, I don't really care about because it's like I mean, obviously women empowerment, of course it's important, but I don't really see the big deal of having a partner, a male partner who at least, I guess wants to take care of you. I don't really know. I don't really know because they make. I just feel like the way they say it, it's a bit like too. It's mostly feminist approach, but it's not that serious. I really don't think it's anything seriously how they're taking it. And I met too many black women who has that same, thinking, and it's just very irritating. Like, pay attention to other races of women. They don't really care that much. They mostly care about a man who can take care of them. You know?
Right. I totally agree. I don't think other races of women are talking about especially if they are healthy minded. I don't
Yeah,
think they're talking about not centering men and having these conversations and making sure
exactly.
that you don't. It's okay to like want a relationship, and it's okay to think about wanting it often. It's not a
Yeah,
big deal. No one is going to kill
really.
you. And
Literally.
in the cult in our culture, especially amongst black women, we're shamed for a lot of things that literally no one else shames each other for.
Definitely.
And we do it to each other. We do it to each other for no for
And
no
also, we
reason.
sabotage ourselves too, because a lot of these women
Yeah.
are raised to be independent. Like when I was little, my mom will always, well, not my mom, but my family, they always say, "You don't need a man. You don't need a man to be with you." Blah blah blah. Do everything for yourself. Because what if you get abused or da da da? And it's just like, what
Oh
makes you think
God.
I will? Yeah, it's like, what makes you think I would date a man who will abuse me? What makes you think I would date a man who would even let me do the simplest thing? What makes you think I would even get myself impregnant and become a single mother? It's like I don't really understand the whole fear mongering speech that
I
they
don't
always try
get
to
it.
give. Yeah, and it's just like what it's like, is there no other side of meaning good man? Like, can we just focus on that? Oh, what do you provide for the table? Oh, no man want to be with a girl who da da da. I mean, why do you want to be a girl who only centers on a guy? No girls focus on men. And it's just like, oh
Oh,
my god, it's so annoying. I can't even
right.
ask for like ways to make myself even look pretty to get a guy, because then it's like, oh, you why you want to get yourself a boyfriend? Why do you care so much? Blah blah blah. And it's just like, I'm a
Other
woman.
women, other races of women are not saying that. They're not
Exactly.
saying that. They're not saying that to each other. That's why they already are conditioned to welcome and enjoy relationships. They're not focused on what they need to avoid, and they're not focused on like making sure they have this mindset of I got to get it on my own. And this is the conditioning that happens with a lot of young Black girls because we have such a matriarchal type of community. It's a lot of women who had to do a lot of things by themselves. So we're already conditioning our young baby girls to think the same before they even have the chance to go out and live their own life and go out and decide for themselves. Right? It's
Exactly.
very unhealthy, and it doesn't matter for some Black women who are under this conditioning. It doesn't matter who they date. No matter the color, they're going to have this conditioning that's already embedded in them that they always need to make sure that, they got it on their own. You don't want to depend on a man and all these things. This
Yeah.
man that you choose to marry is going to commit his life to you. Do you
Exactly.
understand? He's going to marry
Mhm.
you. If an
Mom,
intruder comes in at 3 a.m., that man is going to get up and take a bullet for you and the babies. Do you not understand that?
yes.
So
That's what I'm saying.
you being afraid to depend on him when he will give his life for you in a matter of minutes doesn't
Literally.
make any sense to me. And you're not supposed to be choosing men that wouldn't want to do that for you in the first place.
Exactly. And this is why I say it's pure ignorance. I think it's like pure ignorance to me because, like, when I was on Reddit, I remember I read a post from a man who said that he met this girl, whatever. He was so in love with her that he said that the career job that he's working is mainly for her. He's working to provide for her, he's working to give
Yeah.
her everything that she needs. And it's like, it's so weird to me how nobody ever paid attention to these type of men, only the guys who are abusive and rude and that. And it's just like it's common sense to avoid them. But can we pay attention to the men who actually give you that? Oh, don't be dependent on a guy. What's wrong with that? You have men who are perfectly fine with that. Can you tell me to meet a man who can give me that instead of telling me I gotta work myself to death just to get that? And that's not even possible. It's just so negative, and I just don't like that negative speech. And it's just because you don't like you said, you don't have any other girls who are raised to believe that. It's simply, hey, you can get your education, you could be this and that, but also find a guy who can also give you that as well. Simple as that. I mean, you have, like I said, my Latina friend,
Mhm.
she never got that, good healthy example, but she knew better to at least hang, married to a man who would provide her everything that she needed just by his own interest of her. Like, it's just, if I had a daughter, I'll definitely make sure to never even give her that toxic feeling or think, just that toxic perspective of dating and this and that. Because that I think that's the reason why this, well, yeah, especially with LA too, because I feel like I had to also tell her, maybe take her to a good place where she can find a good man. Because yeah, especially where you're located. You I live in Florida, in the east side, Boynton Beach or whatever. I'm
Mhm.
mostly around, black guys, mostly garbage men.
Mhm.
The way you can find good men, the one with the good careers or whatever, maybe Miami, because hey, that's maybe the richer side, like maybe some of it, or
Yeah.
somewhere for like Orlando. You have to
Mhm.
at least place your daughters in good settings so they can find the men that they're looking for, because where they're like everywhere instead of
Yeah.
bad areas, and then telling that, because that's mostly the case. You have girls who are in bad areas, and then you have the mothers using that to them, but it's like, just tell them to just go to a different area, give them advice. You have women online giving advice to women about how to seek the right man, and what area that they have to go if they're in some states to find the right person, and
Mhm.
just give out that positive, mindset instead of just being so negative about it. That's what I'm just saying. Because
I
I don't,
agree. Yeah.
yeah,
I made a post on my community tab today, just a poll on some more content. But one thing I mentioned is that I mentioned two content creators that I'm not. And these two content creators, from me watching them from the time that I do, they talk a lot of negativity more so than positivity. And I think what
yeah,
Black women need to do with each other first and foremost is to speak more on positive reinforcement. Like, positive reinforcement is a type of conditioning that works for you to find what you really want. If you're always focusing on the negative and what you need to avoid, that's all you're going to be looking out for. And you are going to self
Exactly.
sabotage relationships because you're subconsciously looking for issues instead of directly looking for green flags and the plus signs. And
Exactly.
it's okay to live a lifestyle where you're moving through positive reinforcement versus negativity. Like the red pill community, they move in negativity. They move through telling you what you need to look out for and how to get over on women. They don't move
Mhm.
telling women what to look for that makes a good woman a high quality woman. And what I'm starting to see in certain spaces for Black women here on YouTube is a lot of negativity about the same man
To be
and not
honest.
enough positivity. I think I've come across one YouTuber who actually sits down and interviews non-Black men on her channel to talk about the
Mhm.
positives. And that's what more Black women need to see.
Exactly.
I do commentary videos of non-Black men and what they have to say as well. Like, I show what the other side looks like.
Exactly. Oh my God. I'm
I
sorry.
don't just center what we all don't want. I don't just center that on my channel, and I never will do that. I will never do that. I wasn't even raised
Exactly.
like that by my mother. My mother's a wife. She never raised me to look out for, I mean, obviously she told me, but it wasn't something that was conditioned into
To be
me.
honest. Yeah, because my mom, she never really tell me anything about dating, so I had to at least look for examples of what dating was like. And I say I kind of blessed my attitude because I knew better. And even though I was listening to my aunties and they were just being very negative about it, I just knew that's a lot of it has to do with them because most of them were independent women, and the guys that they date were mostly Black men. And it's just like, I'd rather just pay attention to women who at least are open minded and expanding the options. Like, I guess one of my cousins, my mom cousin, she was with a Haitian man for several years. Clearly, he hasn't done anything to him, for her. She opened her options at the age of probably 50, dated a white man, and now she's like traveling around with him. He's paying off her students' college loans, whatever. And it's just
Mhm.
like, I'd rather look into that than listen to people who just rather rant and complain about the same thing all the time. And it's just like, and mind you, I know a YouTuber, I'm not gonna say her name, but even though she dates interracially, she does repeatedly talk about, the Black men in the community. And it's just like, can this be done with, I mean, can we focus on other things that are
Yeah,
important, like, women, what to like dress on your femininity, or like what stuff we have to do to take care of ourselves, to work with our mental health, just other stuff that's important. It's like, okay, I get it, I just don't care anymore because I'm not looking to date them. I really don't care. I want to know what I have to do with myself, like what tips I need to know of how to where to find the type of guys, or what strategy I need to follow whatsoever,
right.
something like that, like Sierra. Oh, I think I said her name, but but that woman that mostly talks about dating, finding established men, same as this other Indian woman. I don't really know her title name, but
So if it's a positive, like you want to compliment, you can say their name.
oh, okay, like Sierra Seven. And for
Yeah,
the
Sierra
other one,
Seven's good.
yeah,
I
I
think
gotta.
I think you're talking her name is like universally something, right?
Yeah,
She's an
she's
Indian
a
woman.
Pakistan. Yeah, the
Oh,
Pakistan.
she's so, so good. I suggest
Exactly.
every woman watch her. She is so good. I'm gonna drop her
Exactly.
her channel link in the chat,
Definitely, because
guys.
I was just watching her video this morning, and I share it to my, the Black friend I was talking to, and of
Mhm.
course she was, bothered about it. She's like, "Oh my God, why do you have to show a video about this?" Blah blah blah, and it's just like, well, just take it. Like, I don't know what to tell. It's like,
Yeah.
it's good advice. Like, I don't get what's the issue. I get you don't, because she's like bothered about the whole finding a man that could provide for you and blah blah.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, but like, you mostly she's she's just very complicated. But yeah, it's just a positive perspective. Like, I rather learn about that, of what to do as a woman, what to do to like, work it out, than just focusing on the men. It's like, I don't care. I mean, I do care just to have Black women, but it's
Mhm.
like, it's just back and forth at this time. It's like a broken record. Like, I don't really get the point of you stressing yourself out. Either
It's a
you
broken record. I mean, we can't have spaces where we're talking about the same thing and literally the same person all of
exactly.
the time and all day. We have to
Yes.
actually devise plans, strategies, even if it's just to offer encouragement, make certain things, bring awareness to certain things too.
Exactly.
Like, we
Like,
have to talk about this. Like, this live, I don't have a black man on my screen right now. This is
yeah.
about black women and what we need to do, what we need to look out for, and how we need to change. And positive reinforcement is something that I don't believe personally that a lot of young black girls get or have gotten today as younger as
Yeah.
older black women. Like,
Cause yeah, cause
they're
start
moving in scarcity, they're moving in fear, they're moving in terms of what they need to avoid. They're, if you're attracted to all of that chaos all of the time, you can't expect to have a long lasting, happy, and fulfilling love life, or expect to even
yeah.
attract a man who is a provider and 100% in his masculine. You can't expect to attract that because you're carrying all this negativity and it can be felt. Men can sense insecure, weak, chaotic minded, angry, bitter woman. They can sense
Thank
it.
you, thank you. Because I feel like some case scenario, these women are well. I don't want to say bitter, but at the same time, it's like, why would you want to be in a space where it would stress you out? Because mind you, these women would also entertain the men. They'd be like, "Oh, this black guy did this and that to me." Okay, so why were you talking to him? Why
Yeah.
were you talking to him? Like, it's like last time I checked, aren't you married with a different race of men? Why are you spending your time arguing back and forth with this black guy when you already know their mindset already?
You
It's
know their
exhausting.
mindset. Like,
Like,
we
yeah,
we don't even need certain channels to say what they need to say. As black women, we're in the community, we see it ourselves. How much more convincing do you need? How much more
thank
do you
you.
really need to hear? When are you going to start
Literally.
desiring to hear about the positives, the negatives, to tell you how to be in relationship, to tell you how to succeed? I mean, I also follow, I'll drop some more links. I also follow some channels. One black woman, her channel is strictly dedicated to finance, strictly dedicated to that. She doesn't talk about anything else but that. And I definitely be watching her channel and watching her stuff. I follow some blogs or some channels on politics as well. I follow things that feed my womanhood. I follow
Exactly.
things that feed my mind, that give me fruit. I don't follow things that leave me with a bunch of coal. Okay?
Exactly.
It's
Like a
just
headache.
it's like a headache. I know you guys have heard of Feminine Fancy. She's really amazing. All of her stuff is about strictly femininity, and she just got engaged to her boyfriend
Oh
who's
yeah, I subscribed
white.
to her.
She just got engaged to her boyfriend who's white, and she is her content is just it's so amazing. She has such
Exactly.
good content. She doesn't talk about black men, she doesn't talk about the craziness in the community. She is, to me, the embodiment of a divested black woman. Like, she doesn't
Exactly.
speak on anything in the community, right?
Literally.
Not at all. And a lot of the girls who are divestors, yeah, okay, but they're talking about black men all day,
Thank you,
all the
thank you.
time,
That's what I'm saying. Like
every
they
single
love,
day.
yeah, like they talk about them all the time, and it gets to the point. It's like, okay, I mean, I get that the Black Manosphere talk, ish about us. Okay, we get that, but at the same time, it's like, okay, we what's new? Like, what is new? Can I please get some dating tips? What to do when I'm on a date, what to prevent when it comes to dating. Can I get that instead? I don't care that you don't like black guys. It's like, okay, we get it. It's just, I'd rather have something that will actually benefit me than hearing something over and over again. Okay, at this point, I have to slowly, unsubscribe and just avoid the content until I see something different. Because people say, oh, well, we have to throw it onto the black girl's mind to hear it over and over again so they can understand.
Ugh,
Okay,
it's
but
crazy.
it's
It's
like I don't really,
exhausting.
yeah, it's like I don't like that statement because, okay, it's like I think we already acknowledged that there's black women who's gonna stay in the black community. Okay, so let them stay.
Let
At
them
this point,
stay.
we can't. Yeah, we can't do anything with them. Let's focus to the women who actually want to evolve. Like I
Yeah,
just don't really see the point. Like it and yeah, for the domestic contents, I have to avoid some channels. I'm not gonna say the name, but I got to avoid the channels because every time they would complain and sit and whine about black men attacking their content, deleting their channels or whatsoever. And it's like, well, I'm sorry that you're instigating with them. It's just this is expected. I'm just gonna pay attention to the ones that are actually gonna give me the stuff that I need. Because when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I try to figure out is what I need to do to improve myself. I just don't have time because I feel like with hearing this, it starts to low key make you a bit hate bitter yourself too.
upset.
Yeah, like I've noticed like
Does.
every
It makes you
yeah,
mad. I mean, who wouldn't get
really
upset?
angry.
And
Yeah,
if I consumed all of that content with the man I have now who's white, he would be so annoyed if I would watch it in front of him, and or it would slip up, or I'd show some of this anger and bitterness. It would turn him off. And he's white.
literally.
These men don't want to hear about that. It's not
Yeah,
because they probably don't care or they think it's stupid, but it's because they're enjoying life. They're focusing
thank
on better
you.
and what's positive. They're not trying to hear about the black male issues all of the time. They want you to actually be in the moment, be intentional, be present, and
Yeah,
come up with how you can make the best out of your time together. Like, no man who's not black cares about the issues with these black men. They don't. They do not. They don't care.
exactly. It's
They
like
don't
those
care,
black.
guys.
It's like those black women who talk about the black community politics. Like, oh, what do you think about this, or what's happening in the black community? It's just like, why would you tell him that? Why would you tell this white, Latino, Asian man what's going on in the black community? They can't do anything about that. It's just, I just don't
Yep.
see. It's just so big. And then next thing you know, they'll be like, well, this is why I don't want to date them because I'm a black woman and I want to develop. Okay, but sis, you already know how the black community is. Like, what is to talk about? Like you already, it has been centuries and nothing has changed. Yet you
Hmm.
still think it's something to still talk to your partner about. What is he gonna do? What is that gonna do for you? You're just gonna stay angry, upset forever about the same type of man. And now you look at. Well, I'm sorry for yelling. It's just exhausting.
Express yourself, girl.
Sorry. It's just
I
like
just I have to surround myself with different content. I can't,
yes,
like, the OG, content creators are great to listen to that have been having their content about black men, and we all know who the OG one, the major one is. She's fine. It's fine to watch the content, but make sure your algorithm has more on it. Like, I would not,
yes,
if your algorithm is full of critiques, what black men are doing in the news all day, that's too much, sis. You
exactly.
have to detox it. You have to drown it out a little bit. You have to include things about abundance and pursuing your goals, your dreams, finances. I'm gonna find the one about the black woman who has a finance channel. She's really, really good. And then there's this white guy I found who's a male dating coach. He's really, really good too. I
Yes,
just
list them
posted
all so I
his
can
link.
find them.
I posted his link in the chat. But I have so many other people I follow, and I had to just stop following certain channels because I
I'm with
understood
you
the
too.
message. I got it, and I can't listen to it anymore. It can't be every day for me all day.
Exactly, because I didn't. When watching these channels, I become too hateful. Where I had to take a step back and at least refresh my mind, because I never walk with, just like someone wrote in the comment, I never walk with hate in my heart. But now it gets to the point where I feel I'm so angry all the time. I can't even be around these type of people, and it's just like, no, I shouldn't be thinking that way. It's just ridiculous to me, because yeah, they need to change their algorithm, because like at this point your channel is growing. Yeah, it's very informational, but it needs to be a balance. Like there's a channel that I follow that she does talk about the black community, but it's mostly just criticizing the men and also advising women to do better and give them self-awareness of what's
Mhm.
happening. Like, oh, I want to say her name, but people have
If
different
it's positive, you can say her name if you're just
her
recommending.
Yeah, it's just that I feel like people won't like her channel, but her name is Leah Andrea TV, and she mostly make videos about black women getting, I don't want to say it because YouTube might take it down, but just getting murk in the community,
Taken out.
some,
Yeah.
yeah.
You need to
And
say
she
taken
also,
out.
yeah, and then she also give videos of celebrity news, but it's just her just being informational and honest. Like it's just better that way because it's not giving me, yeah, black men do this, and black men do that, and it's like, okay, we get it already. Yeah, we know they don't date black girls, and we get that they have some kind of pathology and blah blah blah. We get that, but it's like I rather get something that's more in more in depth, because now it gets to the
Yeah.
point where how's, I don't know, like I don't want to say stuff to like bring in, but like it gets to the point where they start, because when they talk about the same stuff every day, that's good. It starts to the point where they start contradicting themselves. Now, like there'll be times where they start supporting it just to create an argument, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was the same. It's like they would give out this like speech of something that they say they're against, and then next thing you know, they were turn around and say, "Oh yeah, I'm actually fine with that." And it's just like, yeah, clearly you have nothing to say. So yeah, we just need something that's more of a balance, because yes, it gets very boring and repetitive, and it's like I'm not gonna watch these 2 hour lives because I already know where it's gonna start and I already know how it's gonna end. It's just ridiculous. Like some of these black women, like these pretty black women that I've been seeing, some of y'all would get partners if you just weren't so difficult.
Yeah.
Like
Look,
you're
it doesn't matter the color. Look, bitterness and being uh into the drama, it has no color. Men of
literally,
all colors will be able, it will come out if this is what you enjoy to do in your free time when it's just you. If you want to have a relationship with someone really on any level and you're spending intimate time with them, that side of you will show if you're harboring this anger and this bitterness, this resentment, which is why you're so drawn to the content all of the time.
yeah,
It will come out to your partner and it will turn them off because especially if you want to date out,
oh,
these men don't
mhm.
have those experiences. They cannot relate to you in terms of being angry at stuff like that. They're not going to do it. White men are not sitting around angry at what a black man did in the news last week. He's just not
Yeah,
doing it. He's
and
living his life. He's being a man. He's providing. He's doing what he needs to do.
exactly. And you don't see white guys going around talking shit about white girls that they dated. I mean, most of the times they just say that, hey, I date white girls, but I'm very open minded into expanding my options. But for black girls, it's like they just, well, black girls who have the black mammy mentality. Because most, even when they date out, they still want to take black men. Because my friend, she's like that too. I remember when we were talking, I think I mentioned about, I told my other friend she should open her options, and because since she's black, you shouldn't really date within your race, like open your options. And then you have my other friend, the one that I talked to about how she wastes time with the guys. She would be
Mhm.
like, oh well, race doesn't matter, like why does she need to open her options, blah blah blah. And it's just like, girl, shut up, you don't even date black guys, you literally date Latinos. Why can't this woman date outside her race? It's just the hatred that they have to date outside of people, but to stay within their race, but they can't even find that unicorn. It's just, what is the deal? Oh, so confusing. I feel like
Yeah.
maybe this is the reason why we are known to be undesirable. Because I
Mhm.
remember the same one, the girl I was talking about, she talked to me about how black women are undesirable. And it's like, no, I don't believe that. But at the same time, it makes sense because we're very pro community minded and just so difficult. Like the whole rhetoric of you know pa- patriarchy, blah blah blah. It's just like, come on, you look at the other women who don't really focus on that, and they're fine. I mean, even though you have white women talking about that, they still mean a man that's in a who's established and carry traditional values.
Mhm.
I just I don't know what to say. It's just like,
And for
It's
a
not like
lot
it's
of those and for a lot of those women, a lot of that feminist rhetoric goes out the window as soon as they find a good man that they love and can
mm-hmm.
depend on anyway. So it's a lot of messages being thrown at black women, I do believe, because they know what triggers us and they're going to throw
Yeah,
it out there to profit off of it, to get clicks, likes, and all types of stuff when at the end of the day they're not practicing what they're saying to us. They're not practicing it themselves. So
exactly.
just really need to tune out this bitterness
Yeah.
that's all on the internet because it's not
Yeah, it's like, to be honest, most of my context that I watch are mixed. Well, I mean, most of it is fully black women, but it's like if I try to find something that's not, the typical black woman video, I had to find someone who's in another race because they don't really have that, same talking points. And it's just like it's gonna be hard for me to even find a black woman that's just, not the black woman you see on YouTube. Not like an offensive way, but it's like it's gonna be very hard because a lot of them, they're very community minded, they stick to the same topic, and it's just like, okay, uh, I guess I gotta continue searching.
yeah,
But
I'm tired of the negative things that are being said. It's the same message every time. We don't need. So if you got ladies are new coming in, I'll play the original video like one more time. We're
yeah.
originally talking about a TikTok of a black woman. She came on to talk about her frustrations with dating in LA. I think this is it right here. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
I feel like she's known from somewhere. Like, is she
Well,
known?
I'm thinking that she's a model in
Oh,
LA and yeah, I'm thinking that she's a model in LA and she, has it going on and she probably knows a lot of people. She does look like she's been on TV or something. She's very pretty.
yeah.
She's in the right city for the career that she wants if she wants to be modeling and be on TV and whatever. Obviously, LA is the perfect place for that. And she is pretty. There's lots of things that she could do. But she came on TikTok to make she came on TikTok and made this video about how frustrated she is with dating. So I'm gonna play it and let's see.
I just had like the craziest, saddest thought. Um, I'm in a stage of life where I'm watching all my friends get married and have babies and find love. And I had another talking phase yet again fall through. And my
Oh,
friend was like, you'll meet the one day, don't give up. But now I'm at a point where I hope I don't because what happens if I meet him and he wants kids and I'm too old to not be able to give him any?
you can have
So
kids.
it's easier for me to say I don't want kids. Having like a weird existential crisis. I don't know why I'm posting this on TikTok, but I think I need to know I'm not alone. I just had
All right, so that is the TikTok that we've been talking about, and just women that kind of think like this. I
Yeah, you
had a
see.
lot.
Oh,
Yeah, go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
It's just that I'm not gonna make it seem like dating is so easy because it's very hard to find a partner that's at least But I feel like for someone as her, I know she's given opportunities. Plenty of men who are attracted to her. I,
Right.
I know for sure she has meet guys who are like her. So I don't really know. Probably it's a her thing.
I definitely think it is a her thing to be honest. I mean, we talked about a lot already. We talked about because in so she made 3 follow-up videos. So basically this video that she did, it went viral on Black Twitter. The manosphere came for her and all of that. They had a field day telling her that she has unrealistic expectations. She's 30 years old. You're probably expecting some millionaire guy, but you're 30. living in LA. That's impossible to find. There's way too many beautiful girls there. The dating market is crazy.
To be honest.
You
And the
know, and
men,
yeah.
oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. I meant to say that some of the men are very older too. So if she's like maybe finding a guy that's in the same age as her, I mean, I feel like she should be maybe open minded to guys who are at least 10 years older than her. Because,
Yeah.
you know, she's already 30. I don't think you can meet a guy. I mean, maybe? I don't
She can
know.
definitely meet a guy. She's probably, and this is another thing we discussed, is that most likely she is probably not opening up her options. She
Yeah.
probably is looking for the unicorn black man who is well to do, living in LA, and wanting to be with him. Because in her follow up videos, which are these three in the plaid, she talks about having an inwards baby. So I just know that a woman is not really opening up her options. To me, I believe a woman's not really opening up her options if she's using that word in relation to giving birth or marriage or anything to do with her involving herself with a man intimately or romantically, and she's saying the men are inwards. It's obvious you're not
Oh,
dating
yeah.
white
Yeah, she
Hispanics.
definitely.
Right. Like it's obvious you're not dating white Hispanics and Asian men or, indigenous brown other brown men, South Asian men or whatever, Hawaiian men
Yeah.
and stuff, because you're only equating the type of guy you'd have a baby by with an N-word, aka a black dude. So
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
yeah, go
sorry.
ahead.
Is it possible I can respond to AL comment? Because I don't really think she's understanding what we're saying. Because she mentioned about, Dusty, no matter which race you date. And the thing is that, of course, all race of men have to be vetted, obviously. But we're not going to make it seem like black men are the choice to date. They're really not. It's so times, 10 times better to date men outside of your race, because the men that you're looking for, what they always say is like the higher you go, the lighter it gets. So for a black woman like her to be established, she's not gonna meet the black guys that are up there for her to date. And even if so, they won't even date her because she's black. And if you already know the mindset of a black guy, they won't really date. So it's like
Yeah.
it's mostly with her now opening up her options, and she has to open her options because the well-established men are the ones who are non-color men. Like we got to be realistic with what we're saying, because
Yeah, there are, yes, dusty men of all colors, all races from all types of places. It's just literally according to the data and the statistics, majority of the men who don't participate in certain things black men participate in, which is being single fathers, high incarcerations, not having their unemployment rates, and not finishing school, the non-black men don't uh, make up majority of those areas. So the likelihood of you running into quote unquote dusty non-black men isn't isn't very high according to the data. It's still very much possible, but according to the data, it seems that a majority of all these dusties are they're amongst black men, and this isn't how I feel. This is in data. So you're always better to date out and to expand your options, knowing that yes, you can still attract a dusty, but you may also have a better chance of being married once you decide to interracially date.
to
So
be
that's
honest,
important too.
I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
look at the black women, the black female celebrities. I mean, they already provide enough examples that there's not a lot of black men to date at all. And when they do date, they mostly date down. They mostly date guys who have a criminal record, who had a lower job than them, or just grimy. Because next we know, the minute they divorce, already he's looking to get money out of her. No prenup, no
Yeah.
nothing. So it's just like she needs to open up her options, or she just gotta accept the reality where she's in now. I'm not saying that she won't find a partner, but it's like, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not gonna make it seem like it's easy to date, but if she's not willing to at least explain that, have that conversation about who she's dating or blah blah blah, then I don't really know what solution to give to her issue. I really don't know. But yeah.
Yeah. I think that I think dating can be easy if you establish your boundaries and your standards and you stick to them. You don't believe in there's a such thing as settling. You choose to believe in choices instead of believing in settling. And I think if you stick to that, dating can be easy because then you're only giving your time to the
Oh
men
yeah,
you
yeah,
choose. And the men
yeah.
you choose should be men that meet your standards and are respecting your boundaries. And
I
once that happens, then you can be free to be open and explore and be intentional and choose time and time again if you want to keep continuing on.
hello.
So I'm also going to play the
Oh yes.
second, sorry, go ahead. But I'm also going to play the
Oh,
second video because I know a lot of you ladies that just came in said she should move, and she actually made a response video to the because so many other people were telling her that. So she made a response video to that as well. So I'm gonna play that. But go ahead. What were you gonna say?
oh no, it's just that you went mute for a bit, so I was like asking to know if you're there. Maybe my computer froze, but yeah, you can play the
Oh,
video. Hello, hello.
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, it just sometimes it goes like out and then come. Maybe that's my from my end, but it comes like out and then you come in. I'm like, are you muting yourself?
Okay, I'll try to fix it. No, sometimes my microphone does that. But I'm just gonna let this video play and let me know
Okay.
if you guys can hear the video. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, no. One that I could only do in California. Crazy thought, we could just tell men to do better. When it comes to dating, I've gotten this comment so many fucking times. I feel like as women, we're taught to uproot our lives and go look for a man. Maybe I got a career to think about. No. One that I could only do in California. Crazy thought, we could just tell men to do better. When it comes to dating, I've gotten this.
Okay, so that was her response to people telling her she should just move out of LA. She's saying that she doesn't want to because she believes she shouldn't have to uproot her life to find a man. And I don't think it's about, and I said earlier, I don't think it's about uprooting your life to find a man, but you should uproot your life if you're not getting what you want from your environment, whether it is better relationships, better career, whatever. And you're a single woman with no children, you've never been married. I mean,
Yeah, she
you
wants
have
that.
yeah, you have the world is your oyster. Like don't be afraid to change and move up. And I'm just, for a lot of black women it can be, or for a lot of women period really, not a lot of women want to move around and change. Naturally,
Yeah.
as women, we're natural nesters. We don't want to be moving around and changing all of the time. That's just
Yeah.
naturally not what we like. But if she's to the point where she's coming on the internet and crying,
Yes. Yeah,
you
it's
might
like
want
I
to
just want.
explore that option.
That's what I'm saying. Cause like, mind you, I watched a video that mentioned about how the way white women moves when they want the men that they want. You have the parents that will like purposely move the area just to meet the type of guy that they're looking for. Like
Right.
arranged marriages. That's one example. Who was that princess, the British king? Because you know how the father or the mother was having her daughter come, be at the same school as the guy, because he was like the only guy who's known to be rich. You have to move. I
Yeah.
mean, mind you, I was watching this live stream from this I forgot her name, but she brought this. Maybe I need to find my phone so I can find the channel. But she brought in the white guy who said that he was living in America, but he moved to Asia. He's at the age of 40, and they were just talking about femininity and masculinity, like the normal aspects of what men and women carry. And when he was explaining how he met the Asian woman, I
Hmm.
mean, it was kind of it was just like it was an awkward approach. But the thing is that, dang it, I lost my train of thought. I was just gonna mention how even though he was old and the woman that he met was literally at a bus stop where she where he provided her like a cookie as a way to flirt. The thing with him was that I lost my train of thought. I don't know. I forgot what
No,
point.
it's fine.
Yeah,
I
it's just
mean,
like It's just what I'm saying is that I know for sure she has men that are attracted to her. I think she just rejects them. I think
Right.
I just forgot what I was saying. Ugh, I'm
No,
sorry.
it's okay. I just want to point out Aya's comment. Like, she's absolutely right. Like, you shouldn't go looking for a man. No, I would not suggest go look for a man. I
Oh
would
yeah,
just
no,
say change up your environment if you want to
yeah,
be found more easily, right? Like,
yeah,
men go looking for wives, and women are meant to be found. But if you notice you're not being found by anyone, or the quality is not what you want, it is okay for you to redirect where you want to spend your time at.
yeah. Because I hope I didn't mean to say it like that. Because we're not. I mean, honestly, I'm not saying to look for a man, but like, mind you, I live in Boynton Beach. That is mostly where all the mixed, well, mostly the ethnic people are. Like, you got the Latinos and the Haitians, mostly Black Americans. I live in a city that's mostly full of degenerate people. And when I went on the app, I obviously sees that. But for my friend that I was talking about, where she just wastes time with the guy she's talking to, she lives in Orlando. And Orlando is known for the place where it has mostly everything, and that's where mostly established people are located in. So she can meet the guys who have a doctor degree, who have at least money from their family background. She can meet them because she's in
Right.
an area where they're located
But then it
at.
also depends on the type of guy she wants. So
Yeah,
that's why it's difficult to decipher a woman like this, because it's really about what type of man do you want. Because if she's looking for, and I'm going to play the other video where she's talking about having n-words babies, but she if she's looking for that,
all of that,
she's not going to find that really in LA, to the point where like the guy is going to wife her up, and
would
she's
she
30
want
years
black
old.
babies?
I
She want
think
black
so.
babies? Oh,
She might. I mean, she's saying it in this video, saying, "I don't want to have just any." I'm gonna just play it,
yeah,
but
please.
like it's just kind of, it's giving that she's just not into dating out, and that could be a pretty big contributor as to why she's not getting what she wants. But I'm gonna play it. Oh,
So just bear with me, train of thought. All this might be a long-winded response, so just bear with me, train of thought, all of that. The best way I can answer this is if you've seen the show Insecure, Issa Rae. Which, if you haven't, what the fuck are you doing? I can tell you the specific episode, season finale. Kelly is pregnant, and they're like, "Kelly, I thought you said you didn't want any niggas' kids." And she's like, "I don't want any niggas' kids. I want this nigga's kids," and that is it for me. I have never felt more seen and heard in the episode than that in particular moment. You see, my mom was a teen mom, and she explained to me the harsh reality of being pregnant, how hard it is for child labor and raising a child on your own. She had my sister and she was 18. And she was a nurse, so I got all of the gory details, like all of them. But I'm gonna tell you the fact that stuck with me, and that is being a Black woman, my mortality rate is 4 times higher than that of my non Black counterparts. So do you honestly think I'm just gonna risk my life to have a random nigga's child? No, that's why I'm 31, not married, with no children. I don't plan to settle. I know my worth. So it's easier to just say, like, you know what? I don't even want kids if it's not gonna be with the right person, because it would not be worth it to me to do it alone. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck that filter was, but it was freaking me out. And I really got something to say for you fear mongering Kevin Samuels wannabe niggas in my fucking comment section that I'm personally blocking. Part of me sincerely wants to delete the video because I would rather die than allow my moment of vulnerability be used to weaponize and fearmonger other Black women. Y'all are fucking trash. Half of you wouldn't have a shot with me in hell. My shoe collection costs more than your annual salary. You don't make enough money to even breathe in my direction 9 times out of 10. But this isn't to knock the city girls, because I honestly am starting to understand. Here's why. Men put so much of their mental well-being into how much money they're able to provide, or their ability to provide, and how much money they're making, and whether or not that makes them eligible to date. When a man has too much money, he can treat women like objects and like they're just so dispensable, right? I've been there. I've dated rich men. You date a man who may not be where he wants to be financially, and it's all of a sudden, I gotta focus on my career. I don't have the time right now. I just gotta work. I'm not financially stable enough, and da 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 to give you the life I think you deserve. And you probably make enough to support yourself, so you're not even really trying to date him for his money. But because he doesn't deem himself worthy, he would have just wasted your time anyway. I feel like if I'm gonna get my feelings hurt and have my time wasted, I might as well have a Birkin bag with interest. This is where I'm at.
First thing, I don't like how she brought up the characters from Insecure because at the end of the season of Insecure, Issy Ray ended up single. He didn't really find a
Yeah.
partner. So I don't really get the point of her bringing that up and say that, oh, I want this nigga baby. I mean, first thing, when I watched the show Insecure, most of the time it's just Issa Rae just I can't say she was fooling around, but she clearly was just doing that. So I don't really know what she meant by saying that. That's very confusing. And she didn't really have to bring up this city girl thing because here's the thing, if you're already established, you don't really have to say something about how you want a man that's in the same career choice as you, same as money financially. So clearly
Mhm.
she has interest in black guys,
Yeah.
and she really needs to expand her options because like that mindset of her, she wouldn't really have that mindset if she didn't date black guys because I remember having that phase where I wanted black children because I think I watched this one couple and I was like, oh well, I want a black daughter because I want someone to relate to. But it's like, you know what, I don't care because the whole time when I was thinking about finding a partner for me, I was depressed because I just know I would not find myself a partner, a black guy who would literally marry me. Because I think I run across too many who thinks I'm trapping them if I want 8 kids
Mhm.
or even dare to even think I want to be a housewife. No, oh no, they're quick to get on me if I say something about wanting to be a housewife. Oh, I'm lazy. I clearly don't deserve this and that. So it's just like, yeah, she needs to expand her options. She won't say that she's dating, only black guys, but most of the time there are, especially if you're crying, because you don't think that way if you're not only dating black guys. Just saying.
Yeah, it's true. And yeah, she made some, like I said earlier, she made some points of like how the men who don't have money will see you as um un they'll be seen as unworthy and they'll waste your time. And like I said earlier, the men who will waste your time no matter what are the men who don't want you. They just don't
Exactly.
want you. And she's in this video saying, like, I'm not just having any inward baby. Y'all can't even breathe in my whatever. That is what I'm talking about when I'm saying, like, there's a lot of black women who dislike a lot of black men and are just constantly ready to go in. That
Yeah,
type of attitude, even when you date out, that can be felt and heard and seen by other races of guys. Like it's the arrogance. Even though she was
exactly.
directing it towards black men, it's still arrogance. And if she has that mentality towards black men, it's going to come out even when she dates out. My opinion.
Exactly.
It's gonna come
That's
out. She's gonna still think that she's better than and whatever. She from
yeah.
yeah, it doesn't seem like she dates out anyway. And so it's probably even safe to assume that she thinks dating a white guy or a Hispanic guy or an Asian guy is just ugh, like, oh no. Like,
Yeah.
usually the girls who want that unicorn black guy, they think dating out is like, ugh.
Yeah, like hell to them. Oh, I don't want it. Why do I need to date a white guy? He could be racist. Like,
Right.
shut up. Like, I hate when they say that. Like, stop talking. Like, aren't you guys racist yourself? Since you won't really date a white guy just by his features or by whatever. But it's like, here's the thing. I don't care. I'm looking for something that would benefit me. Like, honestly, I would care if he's racist. But if he's racist, I would not entertain him. Like, like I said, it just, I'm stuttering. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It's like that's definitely correct. Like you choose the man you want to spend time with. You choose it. So if you're choosing to spend significant time with men who are dusty, racist, non-providers, they're not protective, they treat you like crap because obviously they don't see your worth. That is something you need to look at yourself and figure out why you're choosing guys that it's not working out. It's not working out because a woman's time is very precious. It's very
Yes,
precious, and you have 100,000% control over it, not the man. So if you keep going with
right.
these dust mighty men and wasting your time with them, the dusty men are gonna be dusty. And we've
To be
already had that
honest,
conversation. Like, we're gonna talk about them all the time for what? They're gonna be dusty regardless. Can we move on?
exactly. And
And that's what you need to do. You need to move on. Like, these men cannot have your time if you don't give it to them. Like, she's complaining
exactly.
about all these different guys, but sis, you chose to give your time to these men who are lame and whack.
Really?
Develop a specific vetting process so that you can see what it is you need to see to feel comfortable before you start actually giving your time to them seriously.
Yeah, because like a man who's interested, like you said, he would definitely show effort. And for men who don't really care, they would show you that they don't care. Because, like I said, they're not putting effort into talking to you. They don't even care to at least treat you or have a or even respect your company. Because even when you give them company, they just use it against you. And now you're in a position where you're always thinking, oh, when I'm gonna get somewhere with this guy, what's our relationship, and blah blah blah, because he's not saying anything. And it's just like, well, well, sis, at this point, are you gonna open your options, raise your standards, or just stay in the same place? Because I had a friend who's a single mother right now. I think she's 6 months pregnant in, and despite everyone telling her to leave the guy, she still stayed with him because, well, that's her first time. And she just wastes her time with him, and it's just like, I don't know why. I don't know. Just for me, I don't want to waste my time with any guy. And even when I was on a dating scene, I met men who clearly didn't wasn't attracted to me, but they kind of they put in a performative act that they were. But it's like when I saw how they talked to me and how they wrote through text, it's like clearly he doesn't like me. So it's like, yeah, just
Yeah.
change it up, like move on, and raise up your standards, go to the area, and if not, then that's the best we can do for you. Because we're not clearly the people try to help her. I mean, obviously the manosphere was getting on her neck, but for the people that are trying to help her and she's like arguing with them, it's like, okay, well then we don't know what to tell you. I mean, like if she at least is open for dating options, because maybe in her video she probably might show what she's interested in, but I don't really know at this point. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and that's why, that's why, to bring it back, like what we were saying, I don't believe there's a such thing as settling. Like, you chose this. This is what you chose. And if you believe you deserve better just because you do, but you didn't end up getting what you wanted, that is your choice. That was your choice. That was something you wanted to do. I don't like to say I
Yeah,
settled for anything. I say I chose this because
you
I
know,
did. No
yeah.
one's
I was
holding
gonna
a
ask you.
gun to my head for anything.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was gonna ask you a question. Is it really okay to say that you deserve better out loud or quietly? Because I feel like, I mean, even though it's okay to carry, definitely confidence and your worthiness, of course that's necessary. But I always feel like when it comes to women, like how she's acting, because mind you, my friend, she literally acts like that. Oh, but I don't really need a guy, blah blah blah. But at the same breath, well, I think that's this difference. Well, I don't know what point I was trying to make from that one. It's just like, of course we know that you're deserving of one.
Well, my answer to that is, to be honest, me personally, ladies, I don't believe I deserve anything. I'm
Oh,
not promised anything in life. I don't deserve anything. However, I have requirements, I have standards. So if I was to get anything, it needs to meet this, or I don't want it, or I'm not going to choose it. And if I have to compromise, or if I have to, negotiate or whatever it is I need to do to choose it, then I'm willing to do that if that's what I want. But I don't go around in life thinking I deserve everything and the best. I personally don't, because that is a sign of, that's kind of your ego talking. Your ego wants you to want the best of the best.
yeah. Because
But
I was
what
gonna
you
ask
really
about.
need is different than what it is you want. What you need is what you need to make you better, but what you want and what you think you deserve, those aren't your needs. That's just what you think, that's how you see yourself, that's your perspective, that's your opinion, but it's not a need though. So I don't believe I deserve anything. I need certain things. I don't walk into things thinking that, with the mindset, with that mentality, is what I'm saying.
Ah. So does it come up very entitled?
It does come off entitled because at the end of the day, you don't know what other people have went through. You don't know their story. So for you to just kind of say, "Oh, I I deserve this because I'm me and I'm this." It is kind of entitled, and it's an ego thing. And from the feminine woman I've been around who are black women, they don't go around saying that. And they have masculine providers and protectors to give them whatever it is they want. That's the thing I notice about men who are good, strong, masculine man. They don't want a woman who is like, give me this, give me that, I deserve this. And if you're not doing this, you're out of here. Like, they don't want women with that mentality. They want women who have some humility, that are humble, that are able to say, like, I deserve what I get. I don't believe I deserve the best of the best or the worst of the worst either. I believe I deserve what I get. I think that is better and more realistic and healthy for a woman to think, because it will motivate you to do whatever it is you need to do to get what you want to get. It propels you into action. And like I said earlier, actions speak louder than your words. As women, we're emotional beings and we tend to do things based off of how we're feeling and especially say things and act um, based off of how we're feeling. But our actions are always going to triumph over a lot of things that we say. Like, our what we actually do
True.
is what's going to matter in the end, especially to men, because men are doers, and
Mm,
so they're able to also recognize what a woman is doing a lot more than they're able to recognize your feelings, because they are not emotional beings like us. They have emotions, but they're more logical. So
yeah.
when you're getting with the man and or getting to know him, or he's asking you things, or whoever, I would never say I deserve better, and I would never say I deserve worse. I would either say I don't deserve anything, or I'd say I deserve what I get. That is a healthy mindset because it keeps you as a woman responsible for your own actions, and it allows you to check yourself and hold yourself accountable. This woman, I don't believe she does that. From literally the clip I just played, that we just watched, I don't believe she has this mentality. I believe this woman has is very beautiful. She's been told she's been very beautiful a lot, and I believe it's gotten to her head to the point where she believes she can't, quote unquote, settle for anything, and she deserves the best of the best at 31 years old, living in LA as a black woman.
Yeah, because she does give me Miss Independent. I mean, a little bit of that. But yeah, it's like she's saying that, oh, well, I deserve everything, blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, if that was the case, then where he at? No. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude. But I can see that perspective. Because I can't say I carry that attitude. Because I don't want to make it seem like it was a bad thing. Because I always say, oh, it's good to say that you're deserving of something. But now looking at it, I can. She does give a very negative perspective of it, which is why people are humbling her in the first place. Because
Yeah, people are in that. And I played another clip too, and she explained that white women are allowed to go online and cry their white girl tears, and everyone just
but
has
that's
sympathy
so
for them.
different.
And she's saying when she does it, the manosphere has to check her. And she's saying black women don't have space to be vulnerable and cry our tears. We're told to fix it, suck it up, and blah, blah, blah. And I can see what she's saying, but I probably have a little bit of a disagreement after watching the rest of
Yeah.
her clips. She definitely is speaking from a place of ego and arrogance, and people are not going to have sympathy for you if that is your attitude. They are
Yeah,
not.
because like even when I watch videos of white girls carrying the attitude as her, they get checked too. I mean, I can't say they get checked that aggressively when it comes to a black woman doing it, but it's like what she's doing when it comes to white girls. I feel like it's different though when it comes to the community. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I I mean, I think there are some white women that cry their white girl tears and are also very there's arrogant white women, but
Yeah.
the main imagery and and stereotype we see of white girls crying white girl tears, they're like helpless little damsels in distress, and so people want to come to their aid and come help them or whatever. And it's when black women come online to cry about something or complain, it has a negative stereotype, it has a negative connotation to it. So I definitely see what she's saying, but I also see that she has some arrogance, some ego.
It's like both of her how she approached it. So now it's like, is she does he plan to has she made another response? Well, I mean, there's not really a.
She made one more, and I'm gonna play it.
Oh, okay.
Let me play this one too.
Okay, so this one is the last one I'm going to respond to today. I might still delete the video. This made me
Of
very
course.
happy because this is my intention behind posting it. I just wanted to reach out and get a lifeline from other women who were in my position. And a lot of you guys are Black women too, which was even better. But I swear to God, if I get one more comment telling me to freeze my eggs, I'm going to fucking barf. I am aware of my options. I just think that there's a heavy level of projection going on in my comment section. Desperate I am not. I can enjoy my own company. I have traveled outside of the country by myself twice. Thank you for all the comments about my looks. Thanks. I mean, I don't think I'm ugly either. I don't want to have kids at 50. What the fuck? No. At least not naturally, but kudos to the women who have. That's not my journey. I will not have kids. It wasn't necessarily about finding a man or getting pregnant right now. It's about rethinking what my future looks like. And I may not include any of those things and being
Why
okay with
she's
that.
lying? It was
Okay, so
clearly
this
about
one
man.
is the last one I'm going to respond to today. I
I feel
might
like
still
she's
delete the
lying
video.
on that, where she say that she's not finding a man. Well, girl, what?
I don't believe that either. I think
Yeah, she's
she
lying. Like, I hate when girls do that. Like, don't, like you said, don't cry for something you actually want and then try to backtrack it. Oh, it's not really trying to find. Then what are you crying about not finding a relationship at the age of 30? Like, come on. You mentioned children and marriage. Ugh. Like,
yeah,
girl,
she
you're the worst.
definitely backtracked. I mean, the first original video she was crying, and then in that last video we just watched, now she's basically kind of listing reasons as to why she doesn't need to have the relationship by saying I
Yeah,
travel, I enjoy my own company, I'm not
yeah.
desperate.
She tried to like try to show that, oh well, I don't really need one. Well then I don't know what to tell you, sis, because you're crying for nothing at this point.
So,
Like,
right. So now she's backtracking and now she is ashamed. And this is what I think is the major difference at times between white girl tears and black girl tears.
yeah,
Black girls want to cry their tears and sometimes will backtrack, put on a strong face afterwards. But white girl tears, when white girl have their white girl tears, they sit in it. Like they
yeah,
don't until they get saved. They don't feel the need to now backtrack and prove I'm not desperate. Oh, I can be on my own. Oh, I
yeah,
travel. I do lots of things by myself. What do
yeah.
you
That's
mean?
why
You guys totally
exactly.
took me the wrong way. Oh my
You
gosh.
see,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I say when it comes to white girls, it's not more aggressive because black women, we just entertain it, but for black girls, they just keep on going. Like,
right.
yeah, yeah,
And
they find people that
yeah.
end up sympathizing them.
Yeah, and it's not about me trying to compare the two to say, "Oh, now we need to start acting like white girls." What I'm saying is there are other groups of women period sit in their feelings. They sit in it and they feel. And that's what a lot of black women have just been conditioned we can't do, that we have to be strong, put on a strong face and act tough. Oh, I don't need no man. It's fine. When you literally just cried that you want a relationship, own it. Own
Yeah,
that you want to
that's
be
what I'm
with someone.
saying.
Own that you have feelings of loneliness off more often than not. Just own it. And when you own it, what are you going to do about it next? What are you going to
Exactly.
do? Or are you going to own it, share it, and lay back and receive the sympathy? It is masculine to always feel like you need to control the narrative and always feel like you need to put on your armor and fight off the bad, what is it called,
The
perspectives
bad and
and
good.
the bad feedback.
Oh,
Yeah, the bad feedback that you're now getting. And the only way this is going to change, the only way people are going to stop coming for us when we share our black girl tears is if we actually sit in it and be the damsel in doggone distress. then you're
Yeah,
gonna
that's
make these manosphere idiots feel bad because now they're like, oh damn, she's actually really hurt. Like I shouldn't have said that. That's usually what healthy minded people tend to think. I mean, it's
yeah.
it's it's rooted in human nature. Even the guys in the manosphere, like empathy is something that's can be rooted in someone unless they're literally narcissistic. But there are it's especially in men because men, number one, love to save and save the damsel from distress
Yeah,
anyway.
they do. I
They love
that's
to
what
do
I'm
it.
talking. Yeah, exactly. There's men out there that wants to, because we're not gonna sit here and act like that don't exist. Yet every time you always have a story of a woman being in some, average or low position, and here comes some guy willing to help her with that. But you have women that be like, "Well, I don't need him to help me. I don't really need that because I can do everything for myself. I don't want to depend on a man." It's like, oh my god, okay, we get it. Like, damn. But it's okay to even have those feelings, which is why I feel like maybe we low key have to, at least pay attention to other races of women and how they're doing. Because, I guess they wouldn't really call it white girl tears if, I mean, well, because, yeah, they're mostly the damsel of distress.
Yeah.
And, like, pay attention to social media. Because every time they portray black girls, like you said, we're always portrayed as strong and masculine, and it's like, no. This is why I rather pay attention to the Disney princesses. Mostly all the white girls. I like Tina the Frog, but all the white princesses, they're very very feminine, and they're always focused on being saved from their prince. I rather follow that. I really rather do that because this whole independent, I'm this and that. It just doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
And
It's just
now,
at the end of the day, to have a healthy masculine man. Now, I've seen a lot of things on dark and light femininity. I haven't really, I've looked into this dark femininity a little bit. I was going to make a video about this, but I'll just say it briefly. You're never going to hear me talk about dark femininity here on this channel. I believe dark femininity is could be
masculine.
useful, I guess, but it is definitely more on the masculine side. And
It
I think
really is.
it's used more for men who probably aren't very healthy
Yes.
themselves. And you shouldn't want a man like that. So I think sticking to the quote unquote light femininity is something that is going to attract a healthy masculine man to you
Yeah.
because healthy masculine men want to feel needed. They want
Yeah.
to feel needed. They want to feel like the superhero. They want to
Yeah.
feel like they want to,
Challenge
right. They want to feel like they are, you know,
needed.
needed and breaking down walls and breaking down mountains or whatever to make you
Yeah.
happy and you actually rewarding them with your positive reinforcement and you reward them with
Exactly. Oh my god.
your
Like,
love and and respect. Men want to earn something. So if you are
yes.
showing up as the damsel in distress and sitting in it for as long as it takes, as
Yes.
long as it takes, you will get saved. There's no way a
Literally.
world full of men are going to just walk past you and you're a damsel in distress and you're beautiful and you're fit and you're young and you're
Exactly.
vibrant.
I mean,
They want to save you. They want
I
to
mean,
save you.
exactly, because I remember when I think of my past, well, I'm not, I can't mention everything, but I always notice that most of the time I can't say I'm a crybaby, but I get my feelings, and I always have people always defending me. But when it comes to masculine girls who are known to be very aggressive and mean, nobody feels sympathy for them. I mean, they mostly got the fake people, but most of the time they're mostly just, correcting them. And it's like, I rather stick to, being in my femininity because sometimes I get the stuff that I seek for. If I need someone to drive me home, I at least ask. But sometimes I do have a masculine side where I refuse to get any help from other people.
Mhm.
So yeah, stuff like that really needs to be talked about because I
It
remember watching
needs
this.
to be talked about, especially with Black women. One way I don't really, I don't know, I don't really suggest testing men. So, I mean, just vet, but there's a difference between vetting and testing. But if you want to run a quote unquote test, cry in front of him and see what he does.
Yes.
Cry
Yeah.
about something that has to do with you and only you, that is a problem that you're trying to get it figured out and you're frustrated. Oh, I don't know what to do about this. And I'm just so,
Yeah.
what do I do? Like, I really need help, Like, do that and see how he acts. See his reaction. If he gets all like, ew, what? Oh my God, why are you like, because I have like heard of guys, and I had one myself where I cried in front of him about something. And he was like, "Ugh, stop. You're so emotional. Stop crying."
Oh my
Like, and
god.
it was the first and only time I cried in front of him too. And he's saying it like
Wow.
it's a constant thing.
I'll punch him in the
Guys like
face.
that Guys like that are not in their masculine. They're not.
Definitely. Stay
They're
away from him.
turned they are turned off when they feel needed, and that is a feminine man. It's a man who probably
Yeah.
has some kind of mommy issues. I don't know. He was hurt 20 years ago. Who knows? Because guys hold on to heartbreaks like for dear mercy. They never
Really
can get
long
over
time.
anything they went over. They got their heart broken in high school and they're a damaged savage until they're 35. It's ridiculous.
Ugh, that reminded me of a time where I cried in front of the guy, and the whole time he was just criticizing me. It's like you're not really paying. I literally explained my situation of how my mom was always abusive and blah blah blah, and he's just like, okay, well, don't you ever think that you're doing something that's like triggering it? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like it's. And he was a Negro, so I was very upset. But when it came to other races of men, they kind of so comfort. I mean, I guess, but I
Yeah, at
guess when it
least the least he should be is comforting. And now if it's something like that, that is like an experience and it's just making you emotional, the correct response is to him to be comforting, understanding, and hold space for you. That's the correct response. Now, if you're crying over something that happened and it's like you need help and oh, I really need help with this. I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. He should be offering solutions. He should be
yeah, because
devising a plan no matter what it is. He'll come and assist you with whatever it is, or he'll pay someone else, or he'll even if he doesn't have money, maybe well you
yeah,
shouldn't be with no man that ain't got no money.
yeah,
I mean,
to be honest,
he'd be a
yeah.
provider, but like he should be
And
able to look up something online, like offer a service. It should be
yeah,
simple.
it's and this is why I feel like it's like you gotta find someone that's your right match because I carry this attitude with my friend. So if I meet someone who doesn't do the same thing for me, I would never want to be around you. I don't even I mean, well, for a male and sometimes for a female too, maybe. But it's just like, the energy that I, kind of well, I don't want to make it seem like I need it, but it's just, when it came to my male cousins, when because naturally I don't really ask people for anything, so I get so surprised when my cousin were so quick to give it to me. So if I say that I need, like, if I'm hungry, I'm like, hey Bradley, can you at least give me this type of money? And he said, yeah, sure. He doesn't question it. And I can even get to the point where if I ever get sad, I can just come to him and talk to him because he gives me that I can be vulnerable to him, I guess. Well, that's a bad example. Ignore me.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
I understand what you're saying. It's just that I was trying to bring up an example. Maybe I can bring up my friend example because she has those two. She always mentioned them all the time. She will not stop bragging about them. But she mentioned about how these two guys, they're both Latino, and every time they just hand her money, whatever she wants, whatever she asks for. If she just needs something, he just hand it to her. Like she could just come ask to them for money, and it's just like you need a male friend who does that for you, provides you comfort because they
right.
also give her company too, financial support, comfort, and they and I guess I can say praises. Yeah, you need a male friend that's like that. But and I'm so happy that she finds someone like that, even though my experience of one are mostly horrible. So it's like it's best to find a guy who is like that, or else you be stuck in your masculinity. Because I feel like I'm
Yeah.
still stuck in my masculinity phase where I don't even ask for help, and I get too scared to even ask for anything because most of the times they don't. I never run to someone who's nice enough to offer anything to me, so I just stay silent. And when I do met one who's willing to actually help me, I just decline, and I need to stop doing that. I really need to take it, but I don't know.
Yeah, definitely like receiving is a very feminine thing to do. Sitting in your feelings is feminine. Do like imagine if so she made those 3 follow-up videos to basically backtrack her original video because she was getting the heat. But imagine if the first follow up video she did was another video of her crying, not only about her situation, but now about the heat she's getting. She could have completely flipped this around to making a second video like,
To be honest,
wow, guys, I can't believe all of the hate I'm getting. What is wrong with you
right?
people?
It's
Like,
like
I
being
would have been on there bawling video after video.
that's
You
what
guys
I'm
are
saying.
making me feel horrible.
Like
You
I
know,
deserve love. I want someone to love, and you guys
I
are.
would have I would have made follow-up videos addressing comments. What's wrong with you? You evil people.
Yeah, it's like
You
she got that
demonic,
winner.
weird
Hmm.
sickos. I'm crying, pouring my heart out, and that's how you treat someone when they're pouring their heart out. Who raised you? Like I would just be throwing out
Exactly.
all
That's what I'm
types of
saying.
like I would be,
It's
and I bet
sometimes,
you the comments would be so much different. Eventually, people would be like, "Oh my god!" Like they would offer her so much
yeah,
encouragement. She'd probably get all. I'm sure she'd get DMs already. She's pretty, but she would probably get all kinds of
yeah.
DMs from all different men. They probably want to cash app her. You never
No,
know what you can receive
exactly. That's what
when
I'm saying.
when you embrace being feminine, you embrace the fact that you are the emotional being. When you embrace it, you'll be surprised at what you will receive. Men, masculine, healthy men, they love to be the
Exactly.
superhero, even if it is. There's men be out here sending cash apps, okay? Because that is one way for them to feel like the superhero without them even having to leave their house.
Sorry,
So
you're
they'll
right.
do it. They'll do it.
Um, I'm sorry. You went in and out for a bit, so it cut up half the stuff you
Oh,
said.
can you hear me?
Yeah. Is it possible you can repeat what you said? Because it cut off everything until
I
the
was
last.
just saying, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was just saying, like, to sit in the feelings because you don't know what you can receive. And men love to feel like the superhero, and they will send cash apps and all types of stuff. And that is one easy way for a man to feel like a superhero when he doesn't even need to leave his house is
All
by
right.
sending you some money or something. And if she would have just kept to that, like kept the videos coming of her crying, sitting in her feelings, and allowing herself to feel, she would have like you don't have to be when people come for you. It's okay to say, you said this and it hurt me. I'm
Yes.
hurting because you
Oh,
said this.
yes.
It's okay to say
Yes.
it. Child, when I was dating Dusties, before I even really knew what I was doing, I was so in my feminine, and they said something crazy to me, even if it was as a joke. I didn't care. I said, these jokes, they hurt my feelings. And I know it sounds juvenile to say that as a grown woman, but it's the truth. I have feelings. I'm an emotional woman. I'm an
Exactly.
emotional being. I have feelings. I feel. And what you are doing right now is hurting them. And I feel uncomfortable around you if you want to continue doing this. It's not going to make me happy. And if you literally say that to the guy, if he is a healthy guy and he likes you and he wants you, he will correct himself. And sometimes, even with the healthy masculine guys, sometimes you do have to like speak up and tell them because they'll try different things, they'll do different things based on their experiences. And sometimes you have to let them know jokes like this isn't okay. When you say things like that, it makes me uncomfortable. I feel bad. You know, you said this last night and it really hurt my feelings. And that's important to say that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if there's a different way of approaching it, because I won't make it seem like I had some guy disrespect me, and I wish I did it in a mature, vulnerable way. But most of the times, I get so angry, I'd be like, "Don't disrespect me," and blah blah blah, and that hurt me. And I'm just saying it more in an anger tone, and I feel like that won't really give them a signal for them to apologize. Maybe it really depends on the guy, which is gonna be hard too, because men like that in general are very rare to find. Maybe that's just me. I never met one who are very, understanding and very, respectful
Mhm.
when it comes to women. Only my cousins
Well,
and
some
maybe.
you're right. Some aren't going to understand because they're not women. Their brains aren't wired like ours. So they're not going to get it. But when you do have the angry and aggressive tone, the finger in the face, let me tell him about himself, that's the aggressive behavior, and men respond to that. They understand that, and they'll only see that instead of seeing your feelings. Like they may not be able to understand your feelings, but they should be able to see it. And they see your feelings when you actually act the way you feel. So if you feel hurt, what happens when we get hurt, right? We become in pain. And when we're in pain, we become a little bit weaker. We're not as strong as we were because we're in pain, we're hurt. So you need to actually act like that. So you need to actually act like this hurt me. I'm in pain. I'm weakened by what you did.
Yeah.
And you need to embrace that tone and communicate it that way. And the man will actually see you are hurt. You can't say, "Oh, I'm hurt," but you acting all big and bad and strong at the same
Oh yeah.
time. He's not gonna, he's
What's
not
wrong
going to
with
understand that. You actually
no.
have to like, and that's what I'm saying. Like if you cry, if you can like force yourself to cry,
Yeah.
he can
I
see
have
that
to.
you're in pain because when we're in pain, we cry. If you can cry in front of him, he'll also see it and he'll also be like, wow, oh my gosh. Like one time I was dating a guy and he said something that really bothered me. And I mean, truly, it wasn't something that was a test or I was trying to force it. I was genuinely hurt and I allowed myself to feel because that's all I know how to do as a
Yeah.
feminine woman. And I cried. I cried in front of him and he looked up. He was like, oh my, like I could tell on his face. He didn't say anything. He was very quiet, but he kind of like looked down, kind of to the side. Like I could tell he was very embarrassed and ashamed. And because he could see that what he said hurt me. He could see it. So that's why he was able to understand. But if I was like, Negro, let me tell you this one time, like if I did all of that,
Oh my god.
he
I'm
wouldn't be
so
able to get it.
when you mentioned that, I remember did he eventually apologize?
He eventually apologized, but it didn't work out in the
Rightfully
end.
so. Rightfully so.
It
It
didn't
was
work out in the end,
just
and I'm with a
something
new man.
unexpected.
Yes, I'm with a new man now. My current man now, he's white and he's much more respectful and much better. But what these were my dating days when I was like dating Dusties. So I was emotional and I'd let it be known. I had no care in the world. This is how I feel. If you think it's too much, it like
Oh
I
no,
love how
you're not wrong. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
It's just that when you mentioned how you cried, it reminded me of one time when I was in middle school. I was with these ghetto hood rat kids, and every time they were always arguing with me, so I cried. And ever since that, they didn't bother me anymore, and they were very nice and polite to me.
Yeah, you
Because
have
I,
to cry. You
yeah,
have
I
to
was like,
cry,
I'm so
like,
tired. Yeah, I
yeah,
was like, I'm so tired, you guys. You guys stress me out, and I'm just saying, you guys need to stop being rude and blah blah blah. And they're like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Ashley is nice, but I be talking shit about them behind the scenes. But they always like, because I was so emotional and very, I'm usually sweet. They always, defend and protect me, and it's just like that's how it's supposed to be. Similar to this other guy who was being very nasty with me, and I came to him when class ended. I approached him and I said, "Can I talk to you?" And I told him that what he said hurt my feelings. It violated me too because you're being inappropriate, and I want a way for us to at least make it, where we can at least be, how can I say it? I forgot that word. Damn it, it's just like, equal, so we won't have any tension between us. And he apologized to me and we shake hands and move on. I mean, I'm not gonna make it seem like he ever stopped bothering me. He ended up developing some kind of traction to me, but it's like, yeah, you gotta be the dismantle and distress. You have to, so
you
people
have
won't.
to be. And a lot of Black women just, they reject it. They reject being the damsel in distress because of what we have told each other, what our mothers and our aunties have said. It's
Yeah.
not even, and the men in our community, they going along with it. That's why they're willing to come for you like it's nothing because we don't show that we are weakened when we're in pain, which is a natural thing that happens when you're in pain. If you break your leg, you're in pain and you are now weak. You can't run as fast as you used to. And
Oh
a
my
lot of
god,
Black women
yes.
are tuned out to this. And that's why these men are making all this crazy content about us. They have no shame in the world. Oh,
A lot
they're
of them.
they're
A lot of,
aggressive, they can take it, but they're not doing it about Becky. Unless a
yeah,
Becky
that's
comes
what I'm
on their show and
saying.
is super aggressive, but their first deal of the day is not to make a crazy video a Becky. Their first deal of the day is to make a crazy video about a black woman. And
Exactly,
that's why they feel they can.
and that's because they know they have a platform where white women would attack them, because they low key are attracted to them, and it's like, well, you're attracting this vulnerable woman that hasn't done anything to you but try to talk to you, compared to a black woman who, if she tries to carry that similar attitude, I think she received the same report, but then people might drag her for being there at the platform in the first place. I feel like there's
Yeah.
no win-win situation. It's just if she just didn't interact with this type of man. But in a general basis, yeah, be vulnerable. Cause I really don't see any benefit being angry and very hostile. Cause a lot of these men, they like it too, or mostly dusties, because they like that toxic energy. Well, it's like that masculine energy they get from women, because then they make some excuse that, oh well, then I have a reason to hit you, I have a reason to like say whatever I can say to you because you approach
Yeah.
me in some type of way. And mind you, these are the men who don't even know how to talk to women, because they're, if I have to be honest, the mothers, they don't really raise their sons how to be around women or how to talk to women. Because a guy who is, raised to respect women, they're very different compared to men who treats every woman like their friend. Like, they're very different. So it's like, yeah, it's just like I say, even if they're if even women are vulnerable, they have to do it to the right type of guy. Because even I feel like when it comes to dusties, they will use it against you. Because I
Yeah,
am not.
that is true. There are guys who, and you know what? For the Dusties that do that, because that happened to me plenty of times, those are the guys who are feminine themselves, and they'll try to use your emotional time against you to make you feel smaller and weaker. They also have just some deep issues within themselves, some self-hatred. Those guys are not masculine protectors
Yeah.
and providers. Like no man that wants you, wants to save you, wants to be your superhero is going to bring up your pain again in your
Yeah.
face to hurt you. That's like what an abuser does. An abuser does
To be
that. An abuser
honest.
brings up your weaknesses, your pains, your horrible experiences to make you feel even crappier about yourself. That's
To
what
be
they do.
honest. And yeah, and let's not forget the women too, because there's women who also do that as well. For me, I can't. I guess I got it from one guy, but I have most of the negative, you know, masculine talk from women. They say, "Don't effing cry. That's weak. You need to be strong, because then people will see you as that." Because most of the times, even when I do get vulnerable with these type of women, mostly black women, masculine black women, they mostly just check me like, oh, don't cry, but you can't be doing that all the time. Like, who's gonna like see, who's ever gonna feel sorry for you? And it's just, oh god. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just unfortunate because in the black community, crying for both people, men and women, black men and women, is a sign of weakness. But what I notice in other communities, if a white girl is crying, guys are like ready to run to her. Oh my God, what do you need? How can I help
Literally.
you? How can I do this? Or even if another white man is crying, the other white guys has his hand on his back
Yeah.
to be like,
Oh
I'm
my
here for you,
god.
brother. Like, it's a thing that is welcomed because it is natural to feel, and especially for women. And in the black community, it's not natural for us. It's a sign of weakness. Oh, toughen up and take it. And I think this is an indoctrination that goes all the way back to slavery, right? When we had to like be forced to do things without crying, with no complaints, no nothing, do what we're
Yeah.
told. And so that ideology and that doctrination has been passed down from generations to generations ago to today,
Literally.
to now black people today, us, the most free we've ever been, ever, the most civilized we've ever been in human history, now can't even enjoy our emotions and sit in our emotions. And
That's what I'm saying. And every
yeah,
time.
and black women just need to step out of that. They need to let go of that. And men of other cultures don't make fun of you because you cried. They don't. They don't do it.
Literally, they never do. Even though incels, even though they talk badly about the women they're jealous of, they never at least try to shame them for crying. Because
Yeah.
like they mostly talk about, oh, they're lucky to have this and that, but it's not to the point where it's like, oh, if she cries, then she's a bitch, and someone needs to like fight her ass to like toughen her up so people won't mess up with her, blah blah blah. Because mind you, I've been hearing that when I was little in elementary from black guys. I had a black guy told me if I my baby voice that I have, I need to deepen it because then I'll if I don't really show that I'm tough, I'm gonna get my ass beat one day. And videos that I've seen where if a white girl was even touched, like hit, you have a group of white guys trying to fight that one guy for even hitting her. Compared to a black woman, where if she's hit, here comes a black guy with his phone up just recording.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
And
It's
and
like,
that's what I believe is like the energy of this woman and her TikToks with her backtracking and she's trying to put up a front and she's trying to make it seem like, "Oh, but I'm good though. Like even though I just cried in front of the whole world, I'm fine."
literally,
Like she's not allowing herself to feel. She's feeling the men came for her because they are conditioned to think that they can do that to black women because we're so
yeah,
strong and we can just take
yeah,
it and we need to be told off and humbled, quote unquote. And so now she in her follow-up videos, now she has to put on her sword and her armor to take up for all that heat and backtrack and now act strong again. Like she can't feel.
exactly. And you see how
But
she even her content has changed. I mean, those 3 videos she made about dating, and then she already switched it up. I mean, I'm not saying she has to get back
right,
to the topic, but it's like at least delete those videos and talk about how you're allowed to feel some type of way. But she's just moving on, like
right.
always,
It's
like
like
usual.
she should have kept that same energy of feeling how she felt, even if it's no longer about the dating. Now it's about people coming for her and saying jacked up stuff, and she's crying. Get on that camera and cry about that too. Like
Yeah,
keep
because
that same energy, feel those feelings, let people know you are a human. As a black woman, you're a human because a lot of men in this space think we're just some species of people. That black women are just a different species who can't feel, who can't get disappointed. That
yeah,
we have so keep
honestly,
that
I
same
hate
energy
it.
and let them know.
Yeah, I hate so much of how what a negative, outlook we're giving. I hate it so much. I really wish. I mean, I'm not gonna make it seem like every black girl has the same, perspective because all of them living. There's some black women who don't really have a negative experience, but for ones who interact, encounter it or live with it, and I feel like it's a large portion, it's not really a small amount. It's just it gets depressing and it just gets so miserable. Like, I'm so tired of black women being seen as men. I'm so tired of people feeling that they can just come to us and say whatever they want because we're known to even entertain it. I'm very tired of just we're never seen in something where we're just soft or light. Every time it's always very competitive when it comes to other black women about being feminine. Like, ooh, I'm more feminine than you, and you can't be like this and da da da. It's like, I don't know. It's so difficult. Like, when it comes to just femininity in general, and I don't even think it's that complicated. But I don't know. I'm just ranting.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like
Yeah, I'm just ranting.
it's difficult when we've been conditioned to think a certain way that is like and it feels so unnatural to us, but
Yeah.
it is natural, but it feels unnatural because we've been told so much differently, right? And then we're told anything else that we should be doing is we're acting white, we're acting not black. Like, like being a black woman is a personality type, and it's not a personality type, it's just who you are. You are a black woman, but your personality is what your uniqueness, but you overall you are still a woman. You still are emotional, feminine. You still have the desire to nurture. You have the desire to be in relationship, friendship. You still have desires every other woman has. And that's what needs to be paid attention to. And no, you're not trying to be white. No, you're not giving into
Yeah.
Eurocentric femininity. You're giving into who you are as a human
Yeah.
being.
Like,
That's
it's
it.
natural within our aspects, but
It's natural. It's
yeah.
natural. And I
That's why
don't
I
know.
wanna. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh no. I don't want to interrupt you so many times, but I'll let you finish. Oh,
Well, I kind of lost my train of thought
I'm so
actually.
sorry. It's just that this is why I want to try to at least talking to other different race of men, and just I mean, I can't make it seem like all of them think the same, but it's just like, you
Mhm.
know, just talk, just like I'm very invested in femininity and masculine talking points from two different genders, but in a, in a rightful, rational thinking way of how they discuss it. I mean, obviously, there's so many videos that talk about it, so there's no point. But it's just, just to have that reassurance that as a black woman, I can be vulnerable, I can be a woman, I can, cry for what I do, wish for something happen, and then at least retrieve it, receive comfort and support. It would be nice, and I feel like black women should, receive that more. Like, hey, you're woman, you're women, you can get the, you can feel the way you have to feel, and you can be the way you are. You don't have to act differently. It would be nice to get that instead of focus on the other ones. Because I
Yeah.
mean, do we
And
have
that's why
any?
I think constantly looking at the content where they're talking about black men all of the time, that I believe that is one way to still ignite that anger and that harshness that's in black women when we just keep bringing up stories that are like the same over and over. And when we know
Exactly.
what it is, we just need to move on. We just need to refocus, regroup, and allow ourselves to feel and be around different men. Now, not to say like we said earlier, just because they're a different color doesn't mean that they're perfect either. Like there's
Yeah.
definitely dusty, effeminate, non-black men as well that
Mm.
will still, use things against you and not really care to protect and provide for you. Of course, they're in every color, but usually non-black men are just raised in completely different cultures where they are used to their woman being feminine, and so you getting into your femininity while with these men isn't going to be as much of a challenge compared to the men in our own culture where it's expected for us to be strong, for us to just shut up and take it and just all of these things,
Yeah.
and it's not okay. And I think I was watching like a clip like months ago of like someone in the manosphere, and the guy, or another pickup artist, black podcast person, and he told the guys that if the woman cries in front of you, shut it down, leave her alone.
Wow. What?
Yeah. And so that's why I'm like, okay, then I guess what we need to do is cry in front of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That
saying.
will
Yeah.
reveal
No,
that will reveal a
absolutely.
lot. His reaction will reveal a lot if he is trying to hold space for you, to support you, or offer some kind of help, some kind of a service or a solution. If you're crying because if it's a problem, or if you're crying because it was a negative experience and he just holds space to encourage you, that is a healthy masculine man. But if he acts like ill, oh, suck it up. Oh no, I can't. Oh, what? I don't know what to do. Like he gets all weird and just or flat out just shuts it down.
Like,
That
ugh,
man doesn't care about your feelings. He doesn't.
definitely
He doesn't.
disgusting.
I
Yeah.
recommend crying in front of every guy that if you really taking a guy seriously and really considering him, he's passed all the other little checked off all the other boxes. The next big thing is to cry in front of him.
Oh my god. I feel like this
I
should be
would.
like, yeah, I would definitely do it because I want to test him. And I feel like crying is a way of testing someone. It has to be. Because it's like, I need to know if you're actually going to do something about it. Because, like, hey, if something happened to you, I'm willing to do that to you. Are you going to reciprocate that same, sentiment to me? And if not, then I just know that you're not someone I can be around with. Because I would refuse to be in an abusive relationship. I'm sorry. I just don't have time for someone to just talk negatively about me. Like, I already experienced that, okay? Like, come on. It's not that complicated to be respectful and very loving to your friends or you know um spouse. But yeah, I feel like something like that should be talked about, how to find at least masculine men, because I'm struggling. I don't know where to find them, to be honest. How do you find masculine men?
Honestly, I think they're everywhere. They're definitely I
You
don't want
see?
to say definitely. They're everywhere. It's really just something you have to that will show. They will just show it to you. It's not about where you find them. They will just show it. But they won't be in places that are like super dangerous. It
Yeah.
depends on the guy. If he's like a masculine man but he's more reserved and conservative, which are my personal favorite types. They're definitely not going
Honestly,
to be in loud, rowdy, crazy places. They're definitely not going to be in places where girls have BBLs. I'm just saying they're
to be
probably not going to be
honest,
there.
because I feel like if you're gonna be in an area, well, I mean, I don't really know much about LA, but if it's similar like Atlanta, then it's like you're gonna be in forever competition. Because I don't know if you know about Nick Jonas and his wife. When you look at her, you would have thought someone like her would be with Nick Jonas. I mean, I personally find Nick Jonas as attractive, but it's like if mediocre women, white women, Latino women, Asian women, if they can find men like that who's established enough to even, attract them, yeah, definitely move out of LA. Move.
Yeah,
Because like when it comes to, nakers, let me know. When it comes to them, they want you to be that model for them. Like you gotta get the body, you gotta get the face, you gotta be everything, and they still won't respect you.
they like Jezebels.
Yeah, basically. Mm-hmm.
They like
Whores.
Jezebels. Yeah, that's just
Yeah,
their type. That's what they like.
the
That's why
whores
a
and the
lot of
slut.
them. That's why a lot of them go to LA. And I mean, it is.
Yeah, in
It is what
Miami.
it is. Yeah, or Miami.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about my state. I didn't. But yeah, definitely Miami. Yeah, I think I run into one before, and though I mean, I could have got jealous. I got a bit, but then I realized it's not really. Well, that's irrelevant right now. But yeah, it's just like yeah, you don't want to be around those type of men. Because when it comes to them, they are very tired. They're finding so special enough. Because I'm just so tired of seeing girls like her for example, cry about men that she can't find. You can find one. I know she can find one. She just rather entertain the ones who don't want her, but she will probably give them that ego that they're looking for. Uh,
Yeah.
I
She
lost my train of
she
thought. I meant
probably
to say
she probably
I don't
has
really know.
like her own view of like what her man should be, and so she's chasing the same type of guy that fits that over and over. That's why it's not working. Because if you're dating all different types of guys, you're something is gonna stick. Like if you're dating the same type of guy and you're getting the same results, well, that's most likely the problem. But if you have a lot of options and you've opened your options, you welcome all kinds of different results, including the one you want. So it's best to just be as open as possible when it comes to the type of guy and the options that you want. And, just to bring it back to like why I titled this live FOMO and running out of time. And there's just no such thing as that. Because if you're opening up your options and you're staying in your
Yeah.
femininity,
Oh my god.
you
Yes.
won't run out of time. And this whole thing about the wall and everything,
It's only about me.
it's just all a conditioning that guys are trying to do to young women, and it doesn't exist because if the who is super plain Jane, who gets her dresses from Walmart, can get a husband,
That's what I'm
then
saying.
definitely girls who are actually put more effort than that into their looks can find someone too. So there's no such
Exactly.
thing. Like either you're young and putting effort to your looks and then you end up turning into the girl who gets dresses from Walmart. It doesn't matter because she got a man too. So if you ever have to get to that point, there's still hope for you. The
Exactly.
wall thing is just a construct. It's just a conditioning. It's not real. Not running out of time. You're not missing out on anything. You're where you need to be. You're choosing what you want. And as long as you continue to choose what you want, you'll get exactly what you deserve. You
Yeah, because
deserve
when
what you get.
Yeah, because when she said that she was 31, I'm like, you're not old. You can still find a partner. I feel like what's old to me is probably hitting your 40s because that's when you're already at you're at your limit. I mean, I'm not saying she
Yeah.
can't find someone at 40, but that's mostly the age where you're kind of age out. But 30, you still got time. So for her
You
to
have time
cry,
and you have it's just a mindset, it's just a mentality because the girl that's on her Universal, the Indian lady, she got married when she was like in her late 30s and she was divorced and had a
exactly.
child too and she was older.
Hmm.
What she did is she kept her body up so she lost a lot of weight, she
Yes,
reinvented her style, she changed her mindset and she attracted a high earning protector and provider traditional masculine man
exactly.
and it works. It's literally a mindset. It's a mindset that
Yes,
needs to happen. which will result in you acting and doing what you need to do to get what you deserve. And that's all that it is. But
Exactly.
listening to the same content creators that are talking about black men this and black men that all day, and that's all on your algorithm, how are you making room to consume information that is
Exactly.
telling you about actually leveling up?
Exactly. And how are you helping black girls? As if we don't get the message already. Because now it gets to the point we're just there to just whine. And whining doesn't really means, involving. It just staying at the same place. Because I'm not gonna say her name, a particular YouTuber who's, popular, even though her content is very good and she's very good in arguing, it's not giving me anything. And it's like at this point you should, grow out of it. Because if it gets to a point where it's affecting your mental health, because it's not only her, it's other several women that I know, like maybe three of them, I think a
Hmm.
fourth one too. Like the fact that I even say it's four people that are known. Well, one is divested, but the other three mostly stay in the black community. The fact that they always, despite having the same talking points, and then they have the nerves to also shade non-color men. Like, oh, you don't have to. Okay, whatever. It's like if it gets to a point where it's affecting your mental health, then you should know already to switch out. But you can't really say anything to them because then they will argue, well, it's my content. Of course it's your content, it's your channel. No one's saying that you can't do whatever you want, but sooner or later, you have to give, actual advice that can help
Yeah.
us. Yeah, because like one thing, here's the thing: once you're online, you're all automatically an influencer. I mean, I feel like that makes sense
Hmm.
to me because once you gain a high following where you meet people and people actually look up to you, they take your advice, you're an influencer now. So they're looking for your advice, they're looking for any examples that you're portraying.
Yeah. And like anything you say is like, so many people will take it as law, as word. And
Yeah,
so
exactly. They would take
it's
it
just, yeah.
seriously. Would they stick to that character that they got mostly from you? Because mostly times, most of these characters are built from from people that they took wisdom from. You know, they
Yeah.
learn it from them, so they take it and build that character. So it's like you want the women to just stay in the same spot and just whine and complain about the same thing to the point now when they are, because I'm not gonna make it seem like if there are around, white people, they get very, irritated, and it's just like, I mean, look, in scenarios, maybe you can be upset, but most of the time that is never the case. So it's like, you gotta change it up. Like it has been several years. Your channel was taken down before, and you build it up back again to now you're raising to close to 100K followers. So it's like, okay, are we gonna do something about it? Oh well, I'm not gonna run out of content. Okay, but like we need something that's gonna be helpful. We need advice that women need to take. Because it's one
Yeah.
thing to tell a black girl, don't date with don't validate a black male opinion. Okay, so okay, well then what's next then? Do I still have to search for a unicorn?
Yeah, it gets exhausting just regurgitating the same messages over and over. And it's okay to talk about, like, have commentary on what happens. I do commentary sometimes on my channel too. And, that's fine, but also provide content that is like actually uplifting, giving some kind of like solutions, tips, advice, offering perspective on something, because or even just encouragement. Like that's what's
Yeah,
really gonna help young black women today. It's not hearing about what Tyrone did in the news last week, every week.
yeah,
That's not gonna help young black women today.
that's what I'm
It's
saying.
not.
Yeah,
We've been on for like 3.5 hours
oh my god.
and just chopping up watching these videos. I really want to thank you, Melted, for coming on. You offered so many good points, and in the chat and here and just joining me for this live. I really appreciate you coming up. I agreed with
Yes,
every single thing you said.
me as well, and I'm so excited that I got the opportunity to talk. I mean, I was wondering when the other girls were gonna come on the live and chat as well, but I guess maybe it's too late. But yeah, I'm really happy that I got the chance to talk. But yeah, I'm gonna step down now. It was nice speaking to you.
Okay, nice speaking to you. Have a great night.
You too. Night.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining this live. I really had a good time talking with y'all. If you are, I'm going to leave this live up as well. So if you are watching the replay, leave your comments down below on what you thought of this video. We talked about so much, but it had to be said. And I'm probably going to create other videos kind of talking on certain things a little bit more. But I'm really glad I did this live. I'm glad we talked about this. This particular TikTok of this girl went viral, and it's very much relatable. And I just wanted to address it on fear of missing out and running out of time. And I'm so glad we touched on like making sure to sit in your feelings. Like as a Black woman, don't backtrack. Don't feel like now you got to put your dukes up and fight and come for all the crazy commentators, and to just expand your algorithm. Make sure your algorithm has real, legitimate, level up content. Make sure it's not just critiques and complaints about a certain group of men all of the time. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this live, and make sure to turn on the notification bell. Like this video if you haven't. I'd really appreciate it because it really helps. And turn on the notification bell because some lives I don't leave up. But however, this one I will. So until next time, ladies, bye.